What is up? It's your boy, Tim Balch. You're listening to the Small Town Podcast. This is going to be episode 8? Yeah, 8. Wow. We've been on fire with these episodes. This one's going to be featuring my good buddy, Chris Swanson. He plays guitar in a couple bands from the area. He plays in Amora, Resting, and Pansy. Those are like the 3 big bands that he plays in. I'm sure you've seen at least one of them around. But he's super talented, super funny guy. He's become one of my good friends in the last couple of years. And man, we just had a blast. There's just a bunch of empty beer bottles here in the studio because we were just pounding yards, tavern ales, just like one after the other. Just going back and forth about music and politics and current events and our childhood, our parents, in a good way, because our parents are dope. And we bonded over that. And, you know, we talked about The Refused and not The Refused, but just Refused, because he's a nerd and he thinks that, you know, the band name is just Refused and not The Refused, and he'll like call you out on it if you put the, because he's a nerd. But, you know, that's my burden to bear because I'll make fun of him each time. But whatever. Other than that, other than him correcting me all the goddamn time, it was actually a good time. But yeah, this was a good episode. Chris Swanson's a good dude. He's pretty funny. Hopefully I get to go fishing with him. Only hopefully. It's wishful thinking, but, you know, a man can dream. Here it is. Chris Swanson, everybody. Enjoy.
Now we're recording. So would this be the beginning of it?
This is totally it. I like to like spring it on you and just see how you react.
I'm like, got goosebumps now.
Yo, ooh. You just sprung that on me. Chris Swanson, how are you?
I'm good. This nice yards tavern.
Yeah, you like that tavern ale?
The Thomas Jefferson.
Do you feel presidential?
Well, yeah. Well, when did he die? Because, like, you know, you think Thomas Jefferson, you think, like,
Let's look that shit up.
Like, you think, like,
there's a beer named after him. I might as well learn about
it. But, you know, Declaration of Independence, Founding Fathers, you know.
I mean, he's on my money. I should learn about him. Dude, he's everywhere. He was the 3rd president.
Not only are we going to talk about music.
He died in 1826, man.
Oh, wow. I guess, yeah. Well,
when you're the 3rd fucking president, I mean, like.
True.
So, yeah. So we've already talked about presidents and how they abused their slaves when it was legal.
We're against slavery.
Can you imagine that? Slavery was legal. That's fucked up.
Like,
who the fuck would think of that?
Well, okay. I'm not defending America at all in this because we did slavery like way too late to the game. Like slavery's been around like for unfortunately as long as
we were getting like ideas from the rest of the world.
We're like, well, if that like continent did it, like why can't we do it?
And we pride ourselves in being the forward thinkers.
We freed it, like, because you realize after doing it for like 150, like 200 years, like, maybe this is a bad idea.
We got to be dramatic about it. Like, we had a civil war over it instead of just saying, hey, let's just cut this shit out, will we?
Yeah, we killed each other over the idea of,
there was a
like,
whole like part of the country that were like, nope, not ready to let go.
Oh my god,
not having it. We're gonna kill the hell out of each other.
This is a political podcast now.
No, it's not. It's a historical one.
It's a historical.
It's different. You can talk about
it's an
history.
Opinionated historical.
We know podcast. It's not political because we're actually talking about our history. Ooh, now it's topical.
I'm scared to say anything.
They got a little everything in this podcast. I talk way too much. That's why.
That's good. It's good. I'm trying to pick my words carefully now. First of all, you hit the button. It started. I'm like under pressure. I like. Feel
now you
like,
don't even know.
I feel like people in the future are already listening to me. Like I'm like sweating.
Wow.
I'm like
people in the future. Yeah, you better watch what you say, motherfucker.
Or maybe it's
don't be talking about slavery.
Slavery.
This is the worst
have you covered
podcast.
Slave rape on any other podcast yet?
No, and you know what? We're the first ones. We're pioneers.
I was going to say,
So cheers. Cheers me to that.
Cheers from it. There you go. I hope that got picked up.
These are shitty microphones, so probably not.
And we're back to the Yards,
Thomas
not. Jefferson's.
It's a great beer.
Now. It is a great beer.
I had it with my dad. My dad was hanging out, and he was just like, yo, son.
Dads are great for beer recommendations.
Oh, dude.
Like,
and he oh my God. My dad does this consistently. I'm going to fix my mic while I do this.
You do
because it's hanging low.
You told me not to fix my mic, so I'm going to go on record that I'm not. I didn't touch it.
That handling noise was just me fixing my mic. Sorry. Okay. But yeah, dads are the best for beer recommendations, and my dad does this all the time. He not only just with beer, but he'll make recommendations because he's a bigger hipster than I am.
My dad has no microbrew. I totally understand.
Yeah, and your dad plays music, which is even worse.
He plays mandolin, in a band.
What?
Yeah,
dude, our dads are hipsters, man. Yeah. Are straight up hipsters.
Talking, making us millennials, making us to be out the bad guys. But who's really the bad stereotype?
We take cue from a former generation, and now we're the bad guys.
I learned from watching you, Dad. Yeah. That's as real as it gets at this point.
That's sick. Hold on, I'm gonna shut this door.
I guess Father's Day is coming up, so I guess we have to talk about it.
That's true. And my dad's birthday always lands on Father's Day, June 15th.
Really?
Yep. I always thought that was as a little kid, I thought since his birthday was always on Father's Day, that he made his birthday his something like that. He always knew that he was going to be a dad, so he made his birthday on Father's Day. Some really dumb
his
thing.
Destiny or
yeah,
something.
it was his destiny to be like my dad. Which is really stupid, but as a kid,
that's how kids
think crazy
totally.
Shit. Because I thought all this destiny shit because I was born on the 4th of July, so I thought all the fireworks were from me.
Yeah, and then you realize every other person just has stupid birthdays.
Yeah, everyone else has an inferior date of birth, and I have this kick-ass one with fireworks and
the country parties for you
and food and parties and the beach and
what are you doing for your birthday? What are your 4th of July?
Dude, I don't know. I'll have a party or something.
You gonna party here?
Yeah. I'll just have a rager.
Should do a special birthday podcast. We'll have a
do some coke.
I'll just bypass that.
Just do a bunch of drugs and hang out, dude. I mean,
invite your dad.
Invite my dude. Yeah, he'll probably bring me coke.
Can I bring my dad?
Yeah.
He'll probably. Jesus Christ. We'll get to
invite. Yeah, all dads are invited. This is an all-inclusive dad.
No moms though.
No.
No moms. Sorry, mom.
They're buzzkills.
No.
My mom's buzzkill.
My mom parties. Really cool. Yeah, I was gonna say my mom parties pretty hard.
Does she?
Yeah.
My mom likes I try to you know how you try and in your later life try and get the scoop on them how they were when they were your age. Come on, you did drugs, mom. You were you smoked weed. You did this, and my mom will not let up. She won't.
I smoked weed with my mom.
What?
Yeah.
I do it with my dad, but my mom would never. She's too straight laced, man. She won't do it.
Really?
No. And she denies it. She always goes at first she denied it, and then one year I got her to crack, and she's like, yeah, I did it one time.
One time.
Yeah, in college. She didn't mean to, and it was an accident, and I'm just yeah, right.
I was told it was an herbal thing.
Yeah, it was medicinal. Someone told I had a migraine, and my girlfriend gave it to me.
I was told it would make me study better. No. Come on, mom. Come on.
You're not bullshitting anybody.
You're totally blazing it.
No.
No, my parents opened
your son,
up.
Don't bullshit me.
It was when I turned 19 or 20, I was they just all right, well, he's going through a lot of life stuff and he's in college. Let's just my mom just told me everything. And I realized at this point,
full disclosure,
my parents were way cooler than me. When they were 15 than I am now. I'm not gonna make it to my parents are still cooler than me. They're
well, they grew up in that time where you could be cool.
80s New York City, man.
Oh my god.
Yeah, my dad was a
City. What part of New York City?
Well, they're from Staten Island, so it's the most it's right outside of the city, but it's the most
Oh, I know, and it's still pretty kicking.
Yeah, well now it is. Back before it was whenever my dad and I are in Staten Island visiting family. Just, oh no, this was trees, that was trees, and now it's just
It's totally built up now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the part of Pennsylvania we're living in is getting that. Everything is
Yeah, because around here it's pockets of forestation and there's a pond over here. I didn't notice this until today.
There's a pond over here.
Yeah, there's a pond right here at this park on Hancock Street, and like I drive by it all the time, and people.
I
always see people with like fishing rods, and I'm like, where the fuck are you getting a fishing rod? Like, why do you need a fishing rod? Like, just walking around Lansdale.
Take that, gentrification.
Yeah, take that.
or is that support? I don't really know. I guess
I don't know.
Just because we have a pond.
I don't want to go there. We already talked about slavery. I don't want to talk about gentrification, but yeah, like I just saw like fishing, and then people were actually like fishing at this like the pond comes right up to the road. So people are just like fishing like off like a sidewalk. They're like,
damn. Yeah. All right.
So there's like a little fishing pond over there. I didn't know that. But
you
I mean,
go
like
fishing after this, or
sure, dude. I'll
the
go
sun's
fishing.
still up.
We're gonna get the beer. You got the hat.
I do. Yeah.
All we need is a rickety old boat and a animatronic shark that doesn't work half the time. I just.
I'm trying. You just threw a lot of information at me real quick.
That's the way it goes, man. You gotta keep up with my references, boy.
Trying to stay. I know. It took me a second.
I'm a reference boy. That's what
I know.
That's all I do.
Mike was telling me.
He can't keep up with me. He thinks he can, but he can't.
Yeah, Mike's like, I only communicate with Tim through references.
That's all we can do.
And when we were hanging out the other day, I was just watching you two, and I had no idea what you were referencing.
It's insanity.
I knew it was like only references. You probably said like 2 actual like conversing words that were original thoughts, and the rest were you were just communicating through references. Like, there was information going to each other, but it was through like shows or music or like inside jokes or like.
It's our little language, man.
It's impressive. It's impressive.
When we met, because he very randomly, like I think we met like one time like years ago at a Dugout show, and then
that's where I met Mike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was actually playing in Dugout.
This is Mike Doherty.
Mike Doherty.
Lansdale legend.
He's gonna kill me. He is a legend. I won't deny that. He's a Lansdale legend.
He's I don't know if he's gonna listen to it. I doubt it. But unless I make him, he might listen to it. But he's a self-proclaimed best musician in the state.
Did he say that?
Give him shit about that. He hates himself. He was really loaded. And he was trying to say that he's a well-versed. He knows how to play a lot of things. And for some reason, what he said was, "I'm one of the best musicians in this state," which is like.
There might be some truth. There might be some truth to that because he is super talented.
No, he's brilliant, absolutely. But I mean, and he's very humble, except what he gets.
Except what he says he's the best of all time on the planet Earth.
He's the last person.
He's such a humble guy, but yeah.
Except when he says shit like that. But no, we love Mike.
Get a look of alcohol in him, and he's
like a dad to me. Back to dads. Mike Doherty is like one of my dads.
He's a goofy ass. He'll be a goofy ass fun dad. Like, he'll be just, like, that kid will never not be entertained. Like, when and if he has children, like, those kids will never not have a good time with their dad, Mike. But anyway, like, I met him at a Dugout show, and then, like, he hit me up, like, early last year, and I was, like, it was, like, January of 2017, and I was just, like, I had just started a temple, and I was freaking out because I got in, but like I was starting a semester like halfway through the year of the school year, and it was just like I'm like jumping in and like
it's not easy.
And like I had like it was just like I was like just like free like trying to get all these things, and like out of nowhere, like he's like, dude, like I got this band called Brandish that like we need a drummer, and it's my friend Ryan, and it's like I know you play drums, and like I saw you with the Jantones, and I want to like. And I'm just like, dude, I can't.
I always forget that.
Dude, I can't. Yeah, like Jansen's like, I was on and off with the Jansons like for like a little bit. But like.
I have one of like the DIY EPs. I was given that like back in like 2013.
Jansen's Die Alone, man. I still got the shirt, but I cut the sleeves off, but I cut them too short. So it's like, if I could go back in time and like actually cut sleeves off of a shirt, I would do that with my Jansen shirt.
Do the metalcore look, just like have the entire.
That's how it is. It's like all the way down here.
Ooh, that's a good
where you can see my side boobies. That's actually nice. But
a lot of breeze.
Feel that breeze under your nips. But
I feel like you're referencing to yourself, right?
I'm not. I honestly like sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just like riff, man. That's what me and Mike do. But like he hit me up and he's like, play in this band, and I'm like, nah, I can't. Like it's too much. Like I can't. There's too much on my plate right now.
Yeah, you're in more bands than I'm in.
I work 2 jobs. I'm in 3 bands. Like at the time I was in 2. I was just in Andros and Brosa Gordon-Levitt. But thankfully,
Only 3? I thought you were in more bands.
I also do like only made stuff, but that's occasionally because Dan McGrawer is like the most prolific tattoo artist like on the planet. No, I'm kidding. In Lansdale, but like he just like that's a whole different story. Like we met in like 2010. That's when we started Only Maids, and like we do things like very, very sporadically, just like whenever,
when you're releasing that.
Whenever he can, really, because like whenever he's like he'll get bursts of Dan McGrawer will get bursts of energy when it comes to music, and he'll hit me up. He's like, dude, I wrote this song, and I'm like, okay, and like I go over and like we record it, we jam it out, and then he's just like we'll get like 4 or 5, and we always want to make an EP, and then we go to record it, and then like as soon as we go to record it, it kind of falls apart.
Yeah.
Or like we just get distracted, or something happens, and then like we'll revisit it like a year later. We've been on that cycle for like 7-8 years, like for like a long time. But last year, Mike Doherty was like, like just come hang out. Let's like, just you're a good drummer, and like we just want to jam with you. I'm like, okay, fine. So he like rope-a-doped me, and like the thing was, I was willing to do it, but like I didn't know. I knew Mike kinda. I didn't really know. At first I didn't know it was Ryan Kazimiri, because we had actually played a show. Andros had played a show with Ryan from Brandish when with his old band Ronald Raygun.
I remember Ronald Raygun.
And they were sick, because like
I saw them like probably. I feel like it was like a VFW show.
And I remember having like a dope ass conversation with him, and like, but this was 5 years ago. So like, we played this place called JR's Bar that's been shut down in South Philly. But like, I didn't know that was the Ryan that he was talking about. And like, he's like, come to this house in South Philly. So I'm like walking around South Philly trying to find this house. And I knock on a door, and I hope it's the right one. And I knock on it and open up, and it's Ryan Kazimiri. And I'm like, dude, what's up? Like, I'm here for like a band practice. Like, do you know where this guy? Are you the Ryan? Like, I slowly like put it together in his doorway, and he's like, yeah, dude, I'm Brandish. Like, I like started it, and like, well, me and Mike started it, but like, it's my band. And I'm like, that's sick. Like, all of a sudden, I found myself in a band with like a guy that I knew, and then 2 guys that I knew, and dude, when we practiced, it was like lightning in a bottle. It was like we knew every song that we knew from our childhood, and like we just kind of like, so like a thing that like I thought was gonna be like another like, here we go, another band that I'm gonna have to sweat out, and it's gonna be like all this, like it's honestly no sweat with that band. Like it's just like we know each other so well that like, we just like we'll go to a show, like even if we haven't like practiced for a little bit, like we'll just like dust off like really quick and just go.
Yeah, you guys. I've only seen like Brandish like once.
It's like raw punk energy, and like I just love doing it.
Yeah,
because, like I feel so natural, because that's all I wanted as a kid, was to play in a band like Brandish, because I only knew how to play drums as a kid. I couldn't sing, or I didn't know I could sing or write songs or do guitar. I had to like teach myself that.
Yeah.
But like as a kid, like drums was my thing, and I was just, dude,
hitting shit, right?
Yeah, and like being in a punk rock band, and just, like. I was listening to Bad Religion.
I was going to say, I was waiting for you to bring up Bad Religion.
Yeah, so it's like, that shit was so important to me. And I was like, man, I want to play drums like that. And like, I kind of got that with Promising Attempt. I kind of got that with the Jantones. But it was
a little bit more BPM with Brandish.
Well, it was just a little bit more like, I hate to kind of disparage the other projects that I played drums for, but like Brandish is super musical, man. Like Ryan's a great songwriter, and Mike is a great musician. He's a great bass. He has a great ear, so like he can pick up things, and like he can also pick up my rhythms, and so
there's a lot of chemistry. Yeah, Mike just showed me all the new stuff.
Brandish just works. Like it just, we didn't have to think about it. It just like came out of nowhere. But enough about my band. Let's talk about your band.
Which one?
Or your many bands. You come at me for being in like 3 bands. You're also in 3 bands. And I know what they are. You don't have to list them. One of them is Amora.
Two very active ones currently, yes. But
those 2 are more in resting.
Yes, and we're both sitting on stuff right now, and I'm really looking forward to dropping it.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, this is actually exciting, because that we're recording this week, because I think it was Monday. You guys dropped the teaser.
Yeah.
For the new album.
It's 8 days from now. Just the 25th.
That's when it's coming out?
Yeah. Well, no, not the album. We're dropping something, and then all the announcements will come. Everything is finally in its place. We're waiting on one thing, but that's out of our control, and it'll be, I don't know, you'll see it on 25th, and we're very excited for this.
I can't wait. I've already heard.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure
on the low.
Yeah. Various members of the band already spoiling the record to like everybody we know and everybody that knows.
For that one, it was you. You're the one.
Oh, absolutely. Well, like they spoiled it for me, and that was how I joined the band. Like,
yeah, you're kind of a newbie.
Yeah, it was November. It was this past November, and I was working at the Montgomery Mall at the time when I had my tea store and everything. And Tristan's a mall rat, and he was just always at the mall, and I would just always see him. We've known each other for like 6-7 years now. I met him when he was like just a kid, and Tristan is the
guitar player,
the guitar player, and one of the founding members of Amora. And
I don't know the band like etymology or whatever, but I get a feeling just by knowing bands and knowing the inner workings of them that he's sort of the driving force, and like he's sort of like Is he sort of like this, like the one that like kind of handles most of the management?
Tristan?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely not.
Really?
No. Billy. That's like Billy's.
Is Billy more of like the
Tristan,
manager?
Tristan's a lot of like the music. Like everybody, like Tristan and Brian.
Well, usually they come hand in hand. Like whoever writes like the majority of like the songs or like the ideas of or like the direction has the most say in like the actual like physical direction.
And that's what's really cool about being in this band is that it's so. Everybody has a role in it, and when I joined, I felt like I got a role right away. Like I had a lot of overlap with guys because like Tristan and Brian are like the. Ooh, this Thomas Jefferson's getting to me.
I know. Hold on, before you keep going, take that backpack off of the ledge, and then you can put your beer down.
Ooh, thank you, sir.
You could totally do that. I don't know why my girlfriend put it up there, but
it's a good place for a backpack.
Yeah, but it's not good for counter space. Nothing like a beer would.
No, beers deserve to be on. I don't know where I'm going.
There it is. I know you were trying to find a place to put your beer down, and I felt bad.
You saw me hesitating.
Move some shit around.
I appreciate it though. You're being really observant. But okay, so Brian and Tristan are like the like driving musical force behind it. Like the chemistry with them too, and it's really cool working with Tristan. Like all the bands I've played with, I always play with like all the other guitar players I've played with, and I'm lucky to play with every musician I've been with, every like band I've been in, but. We've always come from different backgrounds.
Yeah. Like
Connor and Pansy is like super like shreddy, like really old school, really classic rock, but just absolutely brilliant and just like incredible like improvisation and just like knows a lot of like just kind of like blues and jazz stuff. And I learned
he's more classical. Like
yeah,
that.
He still loves like he's just a rock and roll kid. Totally. And then like in wrestling when I was playing with Tanner's got like a really heavy background, a lot of metal, really rhythmic.
Yeah.
And I'm like really sloppy. And like that's just, I like, sloppy punk stuff and everything.
I feel you, man. Dude, sloppy punks all the way.
Sloppy punks all the way. And that's the cool thing. Like Tristan and I have the same background, but he and I play very different. And this is gonna be like the most like this is gonna be my ego comment, but like I'm like when I compare myself to this guitar player, I'm not doing it by skill. I'm just doing it by stylistically, or like the chemistry of guitar players. I look at Tristan as like AC/DC. Like he is very like Malcolm, and I'm very Angus, in which I'm like, I'm like just riffing and doing, but I'm like,
but he's like the solid core.
Right. But he's like he writes like the stuff he comes up with, like. There's like so many subtle like things going on, like just watching him play, and like he and I will just like get ripped and just like sit around and play and just like.
But he's also a songwriter.
That's the thing.
He also knows how.
And I don't know how to I do not know how to finish writing a song. I can write half a song. I'm a master at written half of a song, and I don't know how to finish it. And that's why like when I write,
dude, there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of dude. I've known so many guys like that.
Yeah, I've written a couple songs by myself, and I've never really released any of them. There's like one of the new Pansy songs, if we ever put it out, is one of those. But of course, like as soon as I bring it to people, like obviously when people put their 2 cents, I'm like, oh my god, I never could have thought of that.
And you're like, oh, that's it. Yeah, okay, I got it now.
We can write skeletons, but that was the cool thing with being an Amora and everything is just like everybody's got a role, and just like I was able to like kind of. Because Billy's really good social media, like really good frontman, just really good for like being the voice. And while everybody else, and Nick is just like, he's just like everybody's brother. Nick is just there. And he's like a really smart, like, he's so good at music, like, even like out of his instrument, like, because he's the bass player. Like, he's like, does so much really rad recording and just like, I don't know. He does like a lot of like R&B, rap, and like electronic shit, which I could never think of. It's so cool. I don't know. It's like everybody's got their own kind of
prolific, man.
Yeah, it's like a lot of, we all love the same bands, but everybody's got their own kind of thing. It's really cool working with them.
Yeah.
But it's something I've never done before. But that's Amora right now. I joined the whole backstory of joining, like I was saying. It was November. They were spoiling the record to me. It was like they were only a couple songs into it. And I've been playing, I saw them a couple times recently, like Resting played a couple shows with them, so we've just been running. And when I was playing with Armory a lot, like they were like at every show. And were you at that? I don't know, a lot of people were at that show. It was at Siren Records in Doylestown. It was Nothing Vital, a touring band from like Canada.
This is Amora.
Amora headlined.
I think
I don't think you were there. But
no, because like, you know what, for a long time I was working Thursday nights and I couldn't do Siren shows. Thankfully I'm off Thursday nights now. Gotta
get back on the Siren grind, man. But I like parked really far away because I got there like way after doors. Like none of the bands started yet. It was like right before music started. And no, I probably still got there pretty early, but it was like not early enough on like, in Doylestown. I'd parked like a quarter mile
I got
away.
My spots. Like I've been to Doylestown enough. To Siren Records.
I don't even try. I always park by the playground. That's what I'm thinking.
I know. Like
that's just what I go for. I'm not a very Doylestown experience.
There's like a church like a couple blocks down. Mm-hmm. Like you gotta
That's where I parked that time. Yep.
Yeah, you gotta go a couple blocks and then hang a right and like you can park on the street. There are like meters that they don't check, like in front of the church. At night, I mean, they don't care. Yeah. Like it's like 7 o'clock and no one gives a shit that you're parking in a meter that's been expired all day. So it's like, who cares?
Exactly.
But like that's my little go-to spot if I need to get to Siren.
No, you get it. That's the church.
Yeah, dude. I'm
a
wily veteran. I know how to get around.
Our tangents are like so like we're getting so specific. Like we know exactly what we're talking about, but nobody else is.
Everyone's just like, what the fuck are they talking about?
The church of Doylestown.
They're not letting us in.
But like, so I roll up to this show. I like walk out, and Tristan, Nick, and our friend Savannah like all walk out. Yeah. And everybody's like, everybody get in the car. Our friend, everybody knows John Leahy was there. He's in Vital. He's like, and I met up with him. I hug him, and like he's like, Nick, Sav in the car. And then like Tristan sees me and he goes like, yeah, Chris, get in the car too. Like I was like just kind of starting to hang out with like Tristan. Like I think like we went to a Legion show where Brandish headline a couple months before. I got really loaded and just hung out with Tristan and Nick all day. And I feel like Brandish like really led into this. So see the circle's going full. It's all full circle.
Circular writing here.
Circular, yeah. Circles. So he goes in and he shows me this song. And this song, I'm not going to say the title. It may or may not be coming out in 8 days. And I was like, wow, damn, dude. Like, I would love to play guitar. Like I want to learn the guitar part. I said something stupid like that. I was just like, oh, you got to show me that riff or something. I would love to learn how to play that. He goes like, or I was just like, damn, I would love to play guitar out to that. He goes like, you want to? I was like, you serious? Like Nick and Tristan looked at me. And then like, I was like, I'm in like too many bands. You realize I was like, well, you just fill in for a bit, because like when I like joined, it was just very casual. I was just kind of like they already had their thing going. They were almost done a record, so I like was just kind of there at first. But so we were just kind of joking around the idea, and I didn't think anything was gonna happen. I was just just talking, and then we stop at Starbucks, we get a coffee, keep building, and then they run over to Brian and Billy. Yeah. And they're all huddled up, and like before the show starts, like I see like them like wave over, and I don't know Brian at all. I know everybody else in Amora, but I've never met Brian. I've seen him at shows a million times. We've just never talked.
Brian's the drummer, right?
Yes, yeah. Brian's incredible, and Brian's a scary fucking dude. Like, he's very smart, very like the most adult member of that band.
Yeah, he's kind of the dad of the
band. Yeah, no, he's brilliant.
That's how Trey Todd was. Trey Todd was the dad.
Oh God, Trey.
Dude, R.I.P. He's not dead, but I mean,
he's not in Lansdale anymore.
No, he's just away. He's
away.
He's just in the military, which is why he's arrested. He's got to get up early. That's why. Yeah. So I walk over, and Brian just looks at me as if a father figure, goes, "You any good?" And like as if I shit you not, verbatim just looks at me and goes, "Yeah, any good?" I was like,
You can't answer that.
How do you answer that?
I wish you have said, yeah, I'm the best musician in this state.
I'm marginally talented. I can get by.
And then like Billy
you
and
want
Tristan.
My credentials? What do you want? What, a list of references?
I've known like Billy and Tristan for years. Like I played like when I met them at a basement show that they were putting on in front of all their friends, and I didn't know anybody there. And like so we've like been playing together for years. And they're like, no, he's good, don't worry about him. And then, like, conveniently, Resting and Amora had a show together, like, 2 weeks later. And then that pretty much sealed the deal. They wanted me on. And then they just kind of threw me in the studio right away. At the same time, I was working on the Resting EP. Like, I went to Jersey while they were, so...
I feel partially responsible because last year around this time, we were having a release show. The Recidivist release show.
Oh my god, yeah, that was kind of... Tristan borrowed my rig that night. It was Amora, Resting, and
I feel partially responsible because it was the 3 bands.
Absolutely, yeah.
Did you know this Saturday is the 1 year anniversary of the release of the day that we put it out?
Yeah, I just you're right there too. Would you look at that, man?
Would you look at that?
Look at these circles going on.
I know, man. Well, thank you for sharing that story of how you joined Amora.
Yeah, and Resting's doing stuff too. I'm really looking forward to that too.
What's going on with like? Because I see posts with Armory Infirmary have like been posting like what's the
100% dead. All right, so
because I always see shit with that and then Resting and they're sort of mixed in with each other.
Yeah, it's like
I know it's all Tanner.
The last post I'm still getting notifications for it was like just to show that Armory disbanded like for good.
Yeah,
because we're gonna be getting shit for that forever. Because ever since like when I was in Armory, it was already after they broke up the first time.
Yeah,
and of course, like people would just be
how many times is this? That's
the thing. Armory got way too much shit for that. And I feel I say they a lot because there's like 9 years of that band prior to me. Like the last era is very insignificant to that band. I understand, and like that's how a lot of that band feels. But being able to be a part of that last show meant a lot to me, and I got to play some of the old songs. But I don't know, with Armory and everything. So we played that last show and that was it. And we disbanded, and because Tanner made Resting after Armory broke up the first time.
Yeah.
I was at the last Armory show.
And you just kept both. You just kind of...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, no, Armory was done. And then the day we were recording the first Resting EP. Like Resting was already banned for probably about like 6 months at this point.
Okay.
And we're wrapping up like the last few days of tracking.
Yeah.
And he gets a call from Matt, like, hey, we want to get Armory back together. And Matt and Tanner's like, that's all I know. But he's like, I'm obviously in the process of moving on. Like, we put a lot of money into that first EP.
Yeah.
So he was, and it eventually happened. And I got asked to go on bass because I was told Gil didn't want to be a part of it, just because.
Gil, a former interview guest.
So like I was already playing with Tanner all the time. We were hanging out all the time. Like, yeah, it'd be so fucking cool to be like play bass in one of like my favorite bands. Like, that I'd like.
Totally.
Like I opened for Armory at like one of I think my like. I don't want to say it was Pansy's first. It was like our second show ever, but it was like our first.
I remember one of the very first Armory Infirmary shows,
and
it was like, oh my god, I think it was 2009. Or like 2010 or something, somewhere around there, and it was this guy named Mike Koval.
Yep.
It was his garage, and Armory Infirmary played. I believe he played in it. I think Mike Koval used to be a member.
Yeah, that was the OG lineup.
Like holy shit, like that, but just to see the progression.
Yeah. From
year after year after year.
Yeah, there's so many like I'm like everybody who was in like Armory at one point. It's so cool like having all
Tyler
these
Lampkins, like
you can see all the music videos, like
you can just like track the progress. Yeah, but that's dude. I mean, that's just the way bands go, man. Like I can't tell you how many lineups Andros has had.
Yeah, seriously.
Like we're like we're amazed at like how much Armory Infirmary could like kind of shift and survive and do this, but like. Andros kind of beat all the odds, man. Like, and I don't even take credit for it. Like, I just kind of kept going. Like, I just kind of like kept writing music and like wanting to make records. And then like at one point we broke up. Like at one point I just was so sick of it that I didn't.
Yeah.
I was so sick of the unreliability and the fact that like I thought I was just getting too old for it, and I just thought it ran its course. And that was like when I was 25. That was like 2015. And then literally like 6 months later, like Tom Brucker, like a fucking like archangel.
I remember that, yeah.
Comes, blazing out of the sky and goes like, I want to play drums. And I'm just like, dude, if you're my drummer, then like he's just like, I want to jam with you and play drums. Like, like, do you want to play like Andros type stuff? And I'm just like, dude, if we,
because that was right when Unoya ended, when he was, because that was how I met.
It was right after Unoya ended, and he's just like, dude, I'm a free agent now, and I'm like, dude, like, if you want to play drums for Andros, like, I will get the band back together, and like, I'll just rebuild, and like, and that's kind of the way it is.
That's like the only, I'm sure, I think I saw Andros like right before the initial, like, before that whole, I think it was like you guys were playing with Unoya or something, I want to say.
Yeah, it was
was it the Barn Burner?
I think it was that Barn Burner.
That was one of the best shows I've ever been to. One of those.
That was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
The Tyler's parents' barn.
Oh my god.
Kind of sick. But
Jim Layton brought his entire sound. Yeah. Just oh god.
Oh yeah.
I went to both of them. Those were incredible shows.
I only went to one. I only went to. Did I go to both?
The first one was amazing. The second one was great too.
I know I played one and I just came to see one. Yeah.
Because the first one was...
There were two, but I think I came to one and then played the other one. Yeah. Dude, that was fun though. I mean, like, and then like we just, we're this unit now, but like Tom and I, like, like we were just like, do you want to do this? Like, do you want to actually, like, we'll bounce ideas off each other and make records and do it all the way. And he's like, yeah, dude, totally. Yeah. Like, I was looking for that, like, the entire career of Andros and like wasn't getting it. And like then I get like Tom Brucker and I'm just like, here it is again. Here, so I just broke it off and now here it is back. So it's like, I hate to do that to, like, passersby and be like, hey, we're a band again, but I mean, like, yeah, it sort of invalidate.
Everybody does it. It's a thing.
I sort of like invalidate the breakup. I hate being that guy, but I'm just like, but it's a new thing now. I get, like,
bands are based on reunions, man. It's all about reunions now.
I know.
Like, everybody breaks up after like 10, 12 years and gets reunited.
It's so lame.
Big again. That's the
especially
whole
when
point.
It's me. It's so lame. Especially when it's me.
The other Lansdale legend.
The other Lansdale legend. Ugh. I want to puke my brains out.
Second best musician in this state.
Yeah, me right here. In this apartment. Do you remember
Mike's not allowed to listen to that. We have to have a counter for the amount of times I've said best musician in this state.
Dude, oh my god.
That's my favorite thing.
Mike, he's just one of my favorite people just because of who he is. Yeah. And like he just like, do you know he was Mr. North Penn or something?
Yeah, no, he told me that.
He was like Mr. That's like prom king. That's like you get voted and like you get voted in and then like, there's like a thing, like he came out like, someone told me this, I don't know if it's true, but like he came out like naked playing a guitar.
Yeah, he told me he was the naked cowboy.
It was a naked cow. Okay, he was a naked cowboy. But dude, that takes a lot of balls when you're what, 17, 18, like, and you're voted by your class as Mr. Lansdale. Like, come on, like, yeah, he's a legend. No doubt. No fucking doubt.
Peaked in high school. No.
He did. Yeah, dude, every year he peaks. Every year.
Yeah, I think Mike is on a path of nonstop peaking.
He's just a he's just a big guy, not like, fat. I mean, like, he's just big. He's a big person. He's got a big personality, man. Like, he's not like, God. Hey. He's like, hey.
I'm gonna get home today. I'm like, hey, I just sucked your dick on Jim Balch's podcast.
Hey, don't listen to this. Like, I just did a podcast episode.
We roast you and suck your dick the entire time.
Because you're gonna get mad, and then you're not gonna like us. You're not gonna want to be our friends.
Oh my god. Oh, weren't we supposed to talk about something?
I think that was it. No, I'm kidding.
We're supposed to have a debate.
I always have like an anchor album to talk about, and
I wasn't expecting this, but it was really nice. This is so far. I wasn't expecting to like just kind of.
No one expects it.
I wasn't expecting you to hit record and just be like, "All right, we started."
I love doing this because, like, you know who did the same way? It was Cody. Cody Hebner was like, "So, dude, we're gonna talk about Primus," and like we start talking, and like he gets so. Like, he was having a great time, like, because we're drinking like gin and tonic, we're like matching each other, and he's just like, oh, I thought we were supposed to talk about Primus and we're getting so off the rails, and I'm like, that's why I wanted to do this. Like, I wanted to just talk about
going off track. I'm not fucking. That's like my favorite podcast right now. Going off track. Do you ever listen to Going Off Track?
No.
Check that shit out.
I know it's a thing, but
they're so good. Because I just love that approach to podcasts. Like, no script, no questions, just fucking.
Why would you have a script? I mean, like, I'm not like a fucking.
That's more of an interview. That's how podcasts, I think, should be kind of very.
Well, I wanted this to be a mix of that. Like, I wanted it to be free form.
Yeah.
But have it somewhat anchored by the fact that, you know, it's local musicians. I'm a musician. You're a musician. Like, the interview guests that I have, like, are also, like, I've played shows with them and we have stories to tell, and like we're just trying to catch up and like talk about what's going on.
Yeah.
And then like at the beginning I had like an idea to just have like an anchor. I call it an anchor album, like just something that you and I can like kind of anchor our music discussion with, because really it's just to get, you know, us to talk about where we came from, like, musically, and like, you know, how it got to how events transpired that now we're in this situation where we're playing shows together and we're trying to conquer the world and we're trying to, like, you know, all that. But somehow that became refused.
I'm not even a Lansdale kid. No,
you're not. You're a Quakertown kid. I've always hated. I hate Quakertown.
I hate Quakertown too.
Dude,
and I'm not just trying to say that I hate my hometown. There was just Quakertown was a really great place for music, like 15 years before I got into it. And like there was like 4 bands in Quakertown, and like in my high school and everything.
I hated going to the Wawa in Quakertown.
Which one?
The one closest to Souderton, the one closest to Telford.
Oh, okay, so like, I used to go to
the one that was like up right in front of the Q Mart, I guess.
Yeah.
I would always go there.
I went to that one like every day before I went to work back.
Dude, what is it with the people there that they're just like either just incredibly rude or just like
they sang happy birthday to me this year.
No, dude, because
they know you're not a Quakertown kid, man.
That's why they knew I was.
They see right through you. They are the nicest like Wawa I've ever been to.
Really?
But I've also I used to go there like every day. Like I have the same cashier. I miss her so much. I see her once in a while whenever I visit my parents. But
maybe they turn things around. Maybe they like.
When's the last time you've been there?
I mean, the last time I was there was like, I don't know. What was the last Quakertown show? It was like I always stop there. Like,
ooh, I think we just announced one today. Ooh. I should do that.
I think we got asked to play that, but we can't.
What is that?
The one on the 23rd.
Yeah, June 23rd. Mm. It's Heal the Night, Resting, Sink In from California.
We would have been okay with it, but Chris is in Florida. He's going to Disney World.
He's always doing something.
He's the busiest member of Andros, man. You think I'm busy? Chris Waters is always busy. He's
another legend right there, that guy.
And this is like a sort of like a humble brag, and I hate to say it, but I mean, like, we had to turn down a lot of shows this year. Like, starting in 2018.
Yeah, you turned down like 2 I gave you.
I turned down 2 gave you, and I turned down like 10 others because I'm not complaining. I'm just like, you know, that's just like the nature of it. The fact that, like, you know, we can't play all the time, but we're still somehow a band.
Yeah.
Like, which is good. Like, we actually have a lot of shit going on in July. Like, we're gonna announce it soon. We're playing with Sun Title. Like,
oh shit, really? I just saw them the other day. They were incredible.
They're like, we're so excited to play with Sun Title because we love them, and we're doing it at Siren.
Oh shit, that's at Siren. Oh my god.
And like, I could say this because Dave Heck just put it on the Lansdale scene board, but like, yeah, like, we're playing with Sun Title.
Who else is on that?
It's just this band from Buffalo called Fernway.
Oh, Fernway. I was supposed to.
Do you know them?
I was supposed to book them at my last Quakertown show. They were supposed to be on it, but they had to.
I've never heard of them. Apparently, they have like a pretty big following.
Yeah, they have a huge following. Yeah,
that show's gonna be like nutty, and like we were asked to headline. Like, we're headlining that show.
No way, really?
Because we're the local one. Sun Title's not local. They're from South Jersey.
So I saw them in Jersey. Like, they headlined. It was like their release show or whatever.
And it's at Siren, so we're the headliner. So like, we're like freaking out. We're like, what? Like, it's like a huge opportunity for us. And then like that's a Thursday. No, that's a Tuesday. That's a Tuesday, and then we go on a weekender tour that weekend.
Oh, that's right.
So like, that whole like kind of 2 weeks thing in July is just gonna be like
starting summer off right.
Gonna be like finally, like, we're actually like, you know, playing shows and doing shit, because like we did some songs at the Lumberyard. We're writing new songs, and like, we're just kind of we're kind of like experimenting and just like having a good time right now, because like, we practice when we practice, and then like we've been coming up with some new songs and like really good shit. But you know, we're just like living our lives, man. Like, we're not like we have these songs coming up because we know like this summer, like when these songs are done at Lumberyard and we start putting out, because like we have a video coming out and we start playing these shows.
You have a video coming out? I had no idea.
Oh yeah, did you? It's not like you're in it.
I'm not in it. Who what?
Oh yeah,
that's some hoodlum.
It was just some other red-haired child that
wearing the same
just
hat.
stumbled in the shot. No, none of this will make sense until the video comes out. They're like, fuck
you have to really wait to put this.
Really wait. Or just listen and just keep going.
You need another Thomas Jefferson's Tavern Ale. That is the unofficial sponsor of this podcast. Is Yards.
This podcast is sponsored by Yards Brewing Company.
That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to make that a bit early on, but I forgot about it. Also, because you dived right into slave rape, so I felt bad saying Thomas. Oh
Jefferson. Yeah, dude, I cut that shit down at the pass.
See, I told you it's only get more PG from here.
Oh yeah,
we haven't brought up slave rape since. Can't do this. Oh
this
my
is
God.
Too much, man. I always have a running joke that this podcast is sponsored by my insecurities, my need for attention, my crippling self-doubt, my social anxiety.
I feel so bad just like laughing at you. Like, oh, your life.
Because everyone's just like, are you sponsored? You have a podcast, huh?
It's sponsored by my free time.
It's sponsored by
my wanting to hang out with my friends.
Whatever is left of whatever kind of disposable income I have, which is none. But yeah, stuff like that. So yeah, we were supposed to talk about the shape of punk to come.
Let's do that.
Let's just try and talk about it. Because like, goddamn, like hold on. I don't even know what time it is. Like,
how long is this been
when
going?
We started? We're at the 44-minute mark.
Oh, okay.
So we're fine. Dude, we're good. We're smooth sailing.
You can trim out the slave rape.
Yeah, I'll trim it out. I trim nothing out. Hey, listen.
Oh God, I said slave rape like so many times.
You keep saying it.
Because you brought it up.
It's okay. I mean, it's a thing that happens because Thomas Jefferson entered the
It's awareness.
Conversation.
We fuck the founding fathers.
It's our history, man. We got to embrace it.
No, I'm not. You totally backfired that. Oh my God.
Tear down those statues, man.
No, we are very strongly against slavery, and
we don't have to say that, dude. Like, it's okay.
I'm just
because we're talking now. Just because we're talking about it doesn't mean we're not against slavery.
Oh, you're killing me. Okay, shape of punk to come. We're never gonna get to it. You can't segue from that.
Yes, I can. This is my podcast. Piece of shit.
There's no rules.
No rules. No rules, bitch.
Christ. Oh my God.
Yeah. That's a cool record. How do you feel about it?
I like it. And that's a podcast.
There we go. And that's it.
No, when is the first time here? I'm gonna ask the questions on this.
Yeah, you asked me a question for
when did you discover that record, or when did you discover Refused? Because that is how I discovered Refused.
Ooh, is that record. Well, those are two different questions. I discovered the Refused.
The Refused or
the Refused, whatever.
I was gonna call
the
you
Refused Party Program. They were on a compilation.
What comp?
Punkorama 8.
Ah, that's right.
Because, and I didn't know this at the time because I was only 13, but like I realized at the time they were, Epitaph had acquired the Refused catalog via Burning Heart. I'm sorry, Burning Man. Burning Heart. Like they have like a Swedish distribution.
Yeah.
Sister whatever that pretty much was just
I know what you're talking about.
It was only in place to put out International Hope Conspiracy, Millencolin, and then the Refused catalog because Dennis's new band was signed to that.
One of Dennis's 8 bands,
right? But the one in particular was the International Hope Conspiracy.
Yeah, I picked up one of their records not too long ago. I just found
they're okay.
It's not Refused.
Oh no. It's more like
it's
more new wavy and rock. It's more garagey and like
you can't go from Refused to that and expect the same thing. And that's the cool thing that Dennis can.
Unless you like the Hives.
Yeah, well that's the thing. Dennis is I don't think as much. I love Refused and I love Dennis, but I really don't think like Refused is a full representation of what Dennis is capable of.
Yeah,
and that's just how it is when you're just a vocalist.
I mean, obviously the best representation of him is The Shape of Punk to Come.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that record just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, that's obviously his number one work. Like,
probably
most
his
recognized
peak,
work.
his masterpiece.
Yeah, that's but
he'll be remembered for that. Just
exactly.
like,
But that's the cool thing about all his other bands and everything. He's like very well rounded in other stuff too. It's really cool. Like he's I don't know, a really incredible musician.
Yeah, but like so he was on Epitaph, and then he allowed all the Refused catalog stuff to be re-released via Burning Heart, which was a subsidiary of Epitaph, and that's why they showed up on like Punkorama compilations. And the first song I ever heard of them was Coup d'etat, which is on Songs to Fan the Flame of Discontent, which, dude, I love that record too. That record is
they're playing
crazy.
They're like playing Telecasters on that record. That's like really brutal. I got like the Everlasting EP when they really repressed that. Like, I didn't realize like how kind of like just
so
straight hard, just brutal. Just
I know. And it was just like really brutal hardcore for the 90s, and like but it also had this like kind of like moody melody type stuff like, going on every now and then, which like made it interesting.
It was before their whole avant-garde phase,
and then Shape of Punk to Come was like a concept. It was like a work of art. They just wanted to fucking tear everything down, in my opinion, because like they had made like a really solid album with Songs to Fan the Flame of Discontent, and then they were just like, I think the drummer, like the drummer not Dennis. What the fuck is the drummer's name? Landstrom or something like that. Oh my god,
you're trying to like come up with.
Oh my god, that's gonna bug me. What the fuck is his name? The drummer for the Refused is like a prolific.
Refused?
For Refused, stop doing that. For Refused, is like a kind of like a prolific like producer.
Marcus, that's his name.
No, it's not Marcus. It's something else.
Marcus.
Ooh, that's
oh god! All right, you got to delete this.
It
I feel so bad. This Thomas Jefferson Yards Tavern Ale or Yards Thomas Jefferson's.
He's got all sorts of goofed up. David Sandstrom.
David. It's John Christopher.
I kept saying Dennis.
Christopher, Dennis, and was it Magnus?
It's Magnus Fly right now, but
he wasn't even an official member on Shape of Punk to Come. He played on it.
No, it was
because they went through like a million bass players.
It was another guy that. Well, like they were like a 4-piece how they marketed it. But they had.
I don't think they've ever. I guess like their only solid 5-piece lineup was like the Reunion in like 2012.
Yeah,
because that was when John was still in the band.
Mm-hmm. They had a guy named God, what's his name? Hold on.
I was thinking about there was a Marcus in there at one point, right?
Yeah.
What am I thinking of now? Oh my god.
Well, Christine played guitar. Magnus.
Yes, I know Christine played guitar.
Dude,
I'm just proud to share the same name as him, even though it's spelled completely different.
And then John Brandstrom used to play guitar. He was like a founding member, but he's gone now.
Yeah.
He quit.
No, he got kicked out.
Did he?
Yeah, he got kicked out right before Freedom came out.
Really? That's weird.
Yeah, or I don't think he had any affiliation with Freedom. I remember because it was after the Reunion. I remember seeing the post. It was before like Refused even announced they were a band again. I think that was what made me realize like, oh, they're not done.
No.
Is that like, hey, we're kicking John out. I'm like, I didn't even know you guys were still playing, which is cool, but like,
it's a guy named Magnus Bjorklund. That's the guy that plays bass.
Yeah.
But like what happened with this record, it was just
I knew that, but I completely forgot David. Oh, I feel so bad.
When you look in the etymology of like why they made a record like this, or like when you look at like the artwork especially, and like how it's presented with like
I have a flag of it, dude.
With like the manifesto and all that. There was a band from DC in the early 90s. They were called the Nation of Ulysses, and they were making like really Fugazi like sort of like a mix of like Fugazi and the Dead Kennedys. And like it was like this like really super crazy frontman like diving into the crowd and like, you know, but like really wacky stuff like that. And like and one of the records is called Plays Pretty for Baby. And it's like it has this like manifesto type of thing where like they, you know, they had like they had like their own zine. Like the band had their own like zine that they would print and like hand out at shows, and like they were this like cult. They were literally like a cult because they were just like, you know, they had their own language. They like talked in like this like they were almost like a political party too, because like they had these like talking points and like would list out like what they're talking about and talk about themselves as like an actual nation. They're just like, the Nation of Ulysses believes this, and no other traders will like, you know, they like do, and they had these like long things. I'll show you. But I had like I have like a CD of it, but I'll show you. But it's just like this like long thing. And I actually, if you look at the recidivist liner notes of that, I actually took that idea.
Really?
I was inspired by that because like there's like if you look in the liner notes of recidivist, it's a lot like what you read in The Shape of Punk to Come, like the manifesto, and like, you know, just like this kind of like kind of poetic like spoken word type of thing that like you read that like kind of goes along with the concept of the album.
Isn't the whole like are you talking about what about the is that the whole thing where it's like that it's just describing like the band like on stage? Is that what you're talking about? Like
here, like I was
how they call like John Handsome or whatever, how he like stands handsome. It is really poetic. I know what you're talking about, but like
when you read like it's like all that like it's all that literature like on like the back and like the inlay, like I'm gonna try and find it. But
there's a lot like in the actual album itself, like the actual physical. It's a
lot of reading. It's like a lot of this stuff. Like
I used to have like a one of like the original CDs of it, and a friend of mine, I let her borrow it. And I never got it back, and she and I aren't really hang out anymore, and I'm like really upset. We're still on good terms. I just can't like message her like, "Yo, can I get that back?" Because that would be like I haven't like talked to her in like 6-7 months. Like I can't just be like I gave the album to her like 2 years ago. Like it's way too late for that.
Yeah.
But I have a Hot Topic, which I'm really happy I got this. Hot Topic repressed that like only a couple copies. I was like a really cool like purple. Which is pretty hip of them. I appreciate them for doing that. Yeah, back when Hot Topic was cool, like funny now. Like that was when Hot Topic still sold music.
Yeah.
Like
they were actually for a little while like in the Montgomery Mall. They were the ones that had vinyl.
That's where I got it.
If you want a Dance Gavin Dance like vinyl, and then like you want to buy like a Blood on the Dance Floor.
I bought some Discord shit. I got like some Fugazi stuff. I got the first.
Yeah, there's some Fugazi.
The first two sevens. The Minor Threat first two sevens. That was like one of the first. I got Damaged there back when they were like actually like, oh, we recognize like.
That's just
stuff that was made before the 90s, before Kurt Cobain.
Before Kurt Cobain. Before the Genesis.
And Joy Division shirts.
That's just smart distribution by them, because they know that like kids will buy that even if they don't know what it is.
Yeah,
they'll have heard of it and they'll be like, I want to know.
We don't need to get into that. That'll get aggressive real quick.
I know, but that we can unpack that for hours. But I mean, like, yeah. So like, I was super inspired by the way Shape of Punk to Come was like packaged, and so I was like. But that was like later in my life. At the time when I was a kid, like when I heard The Refused for the first time when I was like 13, I thought they were like, you know, a pretty good hardcore band. But I didn't get it. Like once a friend of mine was just like, dude, you gotta get The Shape of Punk to Come. Like that shit's really dope. And
we gotta admire how bold of a statement that is. Like, what were they? What was the label thinking when they said like, oh, so what's the album? It was like, oh, it's called The Shape of Punk to Come. Like,
well, do you know where the title comes from?
What the shit? Well, that's like one of a million references right there.
Well, it's from there's an Ornette Coleman.
That's right. Yep.
He's a jazz saxophonist, and there's an album called The Shape of Jazz to Come.
Yep.
Yeah, but
like doing that in the 90s though was 98.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but that's also a Nation of Ulysses song. There's a song called The Shape of Jazz to Come.
So, it's going. See, now I'm like, you're schooling me already. I came in here. I thought I came in here.
So,
prepared.
Nation of Ulysses referenced Ornette Coleman,
but that's
then the Refused were like, we're gonna make a record that's sort of like this. But Nation that's the thing, like,
and
then allude.
They
to
did
that.
so many references and like all the sampling and all the little bites. Like, it's amazing how much like I don't want to say amazing. I feel like no band could do that.
There's a lot in it.
Like, there's so much like
there's so much art. Like infused in it because like they're making references to deeper art.
Yeah, because it was the same thing with Refused Are Fucking Dead. They didn't come up with that either. Another band did that.
Yeah, there was a band called Born Against.
Born Against, and like
Born Against Are Fucking Dead,
which is, you know, and obviously they're like paying homage to it. I know they're not That was the one thing but I
was
don't
the
think
cool
a
thing
band could get away with that. There's that many subtle references from so many different things.
That was the
like,
cool thing to do in like 90s hardcore, was to reference other bands and just like kind of have these like kind of cheeky, like tongue in cheek, like, hey, like we know cool shit. Like we're like I'm fascinated.
But they're
by
referencing
that.
jazz and like
I know,
like stuff that you know that in hardcore today and hardcore in the 90s wasn't doing. Like they
took that subculture and just like did it. So it's like a love letter to that 90s subculture of hardcore that were making references to like deeper art, like Nation of Ulysses, Fugazi, Born Against, and you know, like these, you know, they loved, even though they're from Sweden, they like worshipped DC, like Discord, hardcore bands.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And post-hardcore, and like, you know, so like they were doing this shit, and like it's records. It's the fact that they did this record, Shape of Punk to Come, that like made it possible for like Relationship of Command. Like it made it viable. Like if this record didn't come out, like Ross Robinson wouldn't give a goddamn about either Drive-In or Glassjaw or like any of these like newer like hardcore bands. Like they, like, you know, like once he saw like New Noise, I'm sure Ross Robinson saw New Noise, like the video on TV, and was just like, holy shit, like this hardcore band just like broke into the rock scene. They just like made this like bitchin' rock song, and now like the wheels are turning now. Mm-hmm. Like I'm a record producer. I'm pretty much like, you know, an A&R guy for my label. I can go, you know, kind of seek out these like really promising hardcore bands and like market this stuff because people will buy it. And like I can record it and track it in a way that makes it more commercially viable. I have this idea now because I saw Shape of Punk to Come. Like I'm convinced that that's what happened, because nu metal was like doing its thing and it was already kind of running its course. Other producers were kind of taking that idea, and then Ross Robinson was like, "Okay, I've had that. What's next? This like, I've had this Midwestern like kind of like nu metal, whatever it is. I want to know where else." Like so, he started looking to like, you know, hardcore bands and like post-hardcore and how it like related to modern rock music, and he just kind of did that, and was just like, you know, they marketed At the Drive-In like the new Nirvana, even though this was like Shape of Punk to Come was like, you know, the Nevermind that kind of like started this whole post-hardcore wave of like At the Drive-In, Glassjaw, Blood Brothers, Alexis on Fire, like all these bands that we know that like Refused were like the kind of like the big bang. It was just like this record just like exceeded anyone's expectations. No one gave a shit.
Yeah, after the fact,
no one was like waiting for the new Refused record except like their loyal fans. And then like when they heard this, they were like, "What?" Like they were just like, "How can this be?" So like,
it has like the same tragic end of like Jawbreaker does, but with a very different reaction of like the album release. Like totally. Refuse or Dear You being another one of my favorite albums. Like, and that's one thing I've always like, for, you know, coming out around the same time, like 3 years apart. Like, it's so weird how, I don't know, of just 90s punk, because that's what I like to consider. Like that's my, like that's how I identify with music. That was the stuff that like that really hit me was growing up, that I really got into and really kind of obsessed over. But like
the sound this is from the Wikipedia page of this album. The sound of the record challenged existing punk sensibilities. It can be seen as punk at a fundamental level and includes experimental combinations of post-hardcore, post-punk, techno, and jazz sounds. The album reveals musical differences to pop-punk bands such as Green Day and Blink-182, and also to even more traditional punk rock bands like Bad Religion and Pennywise. The album also includes political interludes between some songs, the use of more technological...
Capitalism is organized.
Drum and bass, and and followed the album is a tactic that various members of Refuse have credited to the influence of Philadelphia punk band Ink and Dagger. So they took like remember Ink and Dagger? Do you know anything about them?
Yes.
They were like a Philly hard punk band. Like
I feel like Mike and I were just talking about that.
They were sort of like AFI, but like for like, you know, Philadelphia,
East Coast.
Yeah. Even though technically, AFI, like I think Davey Havok was from Rochester, New York. He was actually from New York. And
I thought they're all West Coast.
And then he moved out to the East Bay. But
Yeah.
Davey Havoc is originally from Rochester. But yeah, they were like
Are you
an
serious?
East.
I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. All right, I'll have to look.
Dude, your boy knows. Don't worry.
No, I believe you know. I'm not challenging you. I learned.
Your boy
I learned
knows.
every time I talked to you. I had no idea.
But yeah, like they kind of took a lot of like, just like the sampling and like kind of infusion of like different like techno genres and whatever. Jesus Christ, that's a loud train. We
Lansdale.
record next to a Lansdale train. Boom. But they took a lot of that aesthetic from Ink and Dagger, who were a band from Philly. Yeah, dude.
History lessons.
Yeah, dude. We're like in.
I wasn't even ready. Oh man, I'm gonna get schooled for this debate. Now I think it's time for a debate.
You want to debate this?
Okay,
Like,
so we're not gonna debate The Shape of Punk to Come.
No, probably not. There's nothing to debate. It's a great fucking record.
But Refused, not The Refused, Refused.
I know you really don't like me saying that superlative.
I feel like I heard somebody like get really upset about it, and now it's like stuck in my head.
Well, don't be like
I think
that
I
guy,
was
man.
corrected. I was like, that one, the Refused record, and like somebody took it. It's like the Deftones. When you say it like that, it's like, I don't know. There's such a stigma with that, but we don't need to go into that. That's not the debate. The debate is not
stupid.
It's not the prefix of
so
the.
stupid.
It's not the prefix of the. It's the fact that Refused is still currently a band and may or may not have put out a record called Freedom that we may or may not have opposing opinions on.
I don't know, man. Like I can't get into it. I know it's the Refuse that I love, but I mean, like,
I like it. It's not The Shape of Punk to Come.
I know
you can't.
I know that, and I'm not trying to be like I'm. And you're wrong if you think that I'm like being like it's not The Shape of Punk to Come. That's why I don't like it. I can decide between the two.
It's not Songs of Phantom Flames.
Yeah,
it's not that.
I can
It's
say
not.
that like I honestly know that this is not this record that I also like from 17 years prior. I know this is a new thing. It's a reunion thing. I have to go into it with an open mind. Still, with all that, I was just like,
Yeah, I understand. They also have.
I feel the same. I feel the same way about the At the Drive-In record, about the new At the Drive-In.
Yes,
I know it's them. I know it's they have.
I still think that was more loyal to the sound that is when you think of At the Drive-In. You think of Relationship and Command. Like that still has a lot of overlap. I think Freedom and Shape of Punk to Come have very little, aside of like using a phaser pedal once in a while. They're like a wah. Like
I may, and you know what? Like it was 3 years ago when it came out. So I mean, like my opinion. Excuse me. My opinion can change within 3 years. Like I can like look at something else, 2 years down the line, and go like, wow, like
When's the last time you listened to Freedom?
Wow, I want to say at least a year ago. Like it's been at least a year since like any of it came on.
And you because we were talking about this before we started too. You saw them live too. You saw them play some of those songs live.
Yeah.
Opening up with Electra. Come on. If that's not one of the best riffs you've heard in a long time,
it's a pretty good song. I'll give you that.
I don't know. Just the pretentious like I don't know. Just music guy.
And you know what? It's a lot better.
Like,
you know what?
If I
heard any of the songs on Freedom, like on like modern rock radio, like 93.3 or like like whatever bullshit that they have as modern rock on the radio right now, I'd prefer that than some fucking Stone Sour, like whatever the fuck is on the radio right now.
You're gonna...
like, I don't know who the fuck is on the radio right now. Like I don't care, but I mean like. Or like I just heard the Godsmack has like a new song out or something like that. Like
yes, Refused is not.
Who
Godsmack.
the fuck cares? Like if so, I'm talking about like modern rock music of like it's still pretty good. Like it's I see no difference in bands like that than like.
It doesn't sound like you went into it with an open mind. See, because now that you're saying this, you're aware of it. You're like, oh, it's still good, but because it's Refused, it's not that good. That's what I'm getting from.
No. That's not really it.
Because I can understand. Like, no, I understand. It is, but I don't know.
Because like I try and go into every reunion album with an open mind because I know that there's the opportunity that's gonna fucking suck. You know that. Like that. Like say Jawbreaker. Like Jawbreaker touring now.
I don't want to talk about Jawbreaker reunion album because that's actually happening.
It is happening.
Hear that, and that's terrifying to me.
Yeah, aren't you scared because you want it to be good, and you're afraid that because they're old now, they won't be able to have the same spark.
It's just gonna be Dear You Part 2 all over again. Is what's gonna happen.
23 years since their last album.
It's old as me. That
oh
record
my
came out
fucking God. That's so long.
That album is literally as old
It's
as I am.
so long ago, dude. Like, Jesus. Like, what other band?
Do you want to see Jawbreaker with me?
Dude, I would love to.
I was talking to somebody about that because they have shows for Asbury Park and it's only 50
Stone
bucks
Pony?
ticket. Yeah, want to go?
What's the date?
It's like September. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll fucking go.
All right.
I'll
It's
see
official.
I'll see the shit out of Jawbreaker.
I want to see Jawbreaker so
Yeah.
bad.
As long as they play that one song from the first record.
Well, of course they'll play one.
I want you. Because
Oh, so
Lightweight covered it. That was my introduction.
It's
to
such a
Jawbreaker.
good song.
I know.
Yeah, Mike and I bonded over that cover.
I also like Save Your Generation. And the song with the Christopher Walken.
Jet Black.
What-
See, we should have talked about Jawbreaker. I'll school you, motherfucker.
I know you. I don't know Jawbreaker that much. Not nearly as much.
The song with Christopher Walken.
That's all I know. There was this girl I tried to date in college, and she was just like, "You listen to Jawbreaker?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like I had like heard Jawbreaker.
Oh, I love Boxcar.
Yeah.
Accident prone.
24-hour revenge therapy. Perfect. But like, I was just like trying to impress her and be like, "Yeah, dude, I love Jawbreaker." You know, because like you'll be into anything if the girl that you likes it.
Oh, absolutely. No, that's not true. I liked this girl in high school, and I remember she liked Dave Matthews Band, and I tried getting into the Dave Matthews Band for her, and I couldn't do it. I'm like, I guess I have to get over this girl real quick, and I did.
God.
Yeah.
Like, there's one.
I never even talked to her. I was just like, oh, she's really cute, and she likes Dave Matthews. I saw her wearing like a Dave Matthews shirt. I was like probably like 14, and that was like the one time where I'm like. And this is not like
White people, man.
anti Dave Matthews, even though it kind of is. But like
white people, man, they just love Dave Matthews Band.
Yeah,
they always forget that. They always forget that white people love Dave Matthews Band.
Who forgets that?
Nobody.
Are you saying I forget that?
Nobody. I'm just saying if you do forget, don't, because it's the truth and we all know it.
No, I could pound a couple yards and listen to Dave Matthews and probably have a decent time.
Do you want another yards and then you can talk to the people for a little bit by yourself?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Why don't you plug some of your shows or like plug some of the things that are going on in your life? Ready? I'm gonna get 2 beers for you. Ready? And go.
Oh, you're actually leaving the room. And yeah, so that'll be coming up this Friday.
You said nothing.
No,
in that, Great. Now there's fucking dead air on my podcast. Thanks. Shit. I gotta edit that out.
I was breathing into the mic a lot, so I was making some noises.
Now it's a porn podcast. It's a porncast. It's a lot of heavy breathing.
Porncast. That's good. You have to rename it to Porncast.
Small town porncast.
Small town porncast. Can my episode just be like, just subtly make it Porncast?
The Chris Swanson porn episode.
The one and only. I'm honored.
The shape of cock to come. Dude.
Shape of cock to come.
I'm a genius.
I'm scared.
I am too. That's the way it should be. But yeah, dude, I'll go see Jawbreaker with you.
Want to see Jawbreaker with me?
I'd love to.
I still think Freedom is a good record, though.
Dude, I don't...
War on the Palaces.
I don't know, man.
There's fucking horns on that
I'll
song.
give it okay, listen. I'll give it a listen, and then I'll text you how I feel. How's that?
That's fair. As long I
then
just
will you
hope...
shut up about it?
No. No. We're acting as if like this has been like an ongoing like kind of like this one like splinter in our friendship that like I like Freedom.
I didn't know there was such a rift between you and I because
but it's like every
record.
single time we talk about it, it goes like this, where there's very mutual understanding, but like, so I feel like this was very anticlimactic, and I'm taking the blame for it. So, but you're still wrong.
Whatever, man. I stand by it until my opinion changes otherwise.
All right. So we want to see Jawbreaker?
Dude, I would love to.
Sweet.
Whew. Wow. Shit's rough, man. I don't know where to start or where to begin.
Now that you left me in the room, I'm like still trying to catch up.
Are you?
You sent me back another like 30 minutes.
Well, let's go back 30 minutes into the podcast. Let's see. Shape of Punk to Come, largely regarded as one of the best records of all time.
The best album in
Freedom,
the state.
2015.
Oh, come on. You're going to come back. Fuck off.
Not even close.
See, I said I would like put my phone away so I couldn't go on
Australian billboards. Who the fuck cares about
Oh
Australia?
my god.
Swedish albums. They're from Sweden. Of course they would.
You're like coming off like really xenophobic right now. Slave rape, like xenophobia.
Australian charts, so right there, whatever.
It didn't chart in America at all?
Okay, US Billboard 200
at
161.
That's still
US
for a hardcore record. Think about that.
The Refused were broken
Refused.
up.
The Refused.
Oh my fucking god, dude! I'm gonna like karate chop you in the goddamn throat.
See, this is what I was waiting for it to get. Like, we're getting.
You were waiting for some contention.
Yeah.
We need a referee in this goddamn room. Karate chop the fuck out of you.
We should get Mike to ref this one.
Yeah. I like Dawkins Christ. That was a good album.
Ooh.
That was a good song.
The Servants of that was the Servants of Death EP. Comes with like Stolen Voices or whatever, which is like a B-side from it, which is a really good song. And then it comes with a bunch of live stuff, and it's like Dawkins Christ live is insane.
I think they played that when I went to see Faith No More.
Yes, they did, because I think that was on the set list that entire tour.
You know what's really
like, I saw them say that.
What's really spooky about the fact that the Refused and the fact that I saw the Refused with Faith No More when they reunited and came to.
I saw the Refused with the Deftones.
Did you? Shut the fuck up, dude. That's enough. I'm not gonna say it your way, and you're always gonna correct me. So go fuck yourself. SMD, bro. But like
Faith No More.
So yeah, like Faith No More also broke up in 1998.
Oh, we're back to this. We're this is how we started with.
I'll come around. He walked in. I was watching
Circles,
and they reunited. They reunited in 2009, but they didn't. They made a comeback record the same year that the Refused made a comeback record.
That's right.
So like, and they toured. So two bands that had broken up in '98 were playing together, reuniting with their new records.
Oh, it was perfect.
In 2015, and I saw both of them on the same stage. That was fucking dope. That was one of the best shows ever. Yeah,
I believe it. I wanted to go on the tour. I think it's sold out.
Mm-hmm.
Where was that?
It was the Man Center.
The Man Center, yeah. No, I saw them at Sands with Deftones on the Gore tour.
With the Deftones?
With the Deftones.
The Deftones?
Yes.
I've never seen the Deftones. Or Deftones. I haven't seen either.
You haven't seen either band?
I haven't seen either band because they're different bands.
No, that was the drunkest crowd I've ever been a part of. Oh, I really wanted to talk about this show because I touched Dennis at that show, which sounds weird.
Did he file a lawsuit?
No. Is that a thing?
Well, you touched him.
He fell into me. He got pushed into me.
Okay, so it's kind of his fault.
Rather Be Dead, you know.
They ended with Rather Be Dead.
Really? That was like near the... They ended with New Noise, because, you know.
They ended with Rather Be Dead, and it was so sick.
Nobody in that crowd knew Refused. It was weird. There was like one guy next to me.
With the Deftones?
Yeah. It was a lot of drunk new metal dudes. Granted, they were fucking funny as hell, but nobody... I was like screaming New Noise by myself.
How many of them like came alive when that fucking New Noise riff came on? And when
the one guy next to me. Like, it was just he and I were just chanting and like just going like, the new pain at the end of it, and everybody was like, I was really uncomfortable, but like...
That's so weird.
Yeah, no, it was weird. It was really
like,
weird.
I
was surprised. I was like, I can't wait to see Refused. It's gonna be sick.
The Refused.
And nobody was into it. There was like a couple people, but like granted, when Dennis came down for Rather Be Dead, like all the fans, like I was like in the back of the pit, like I wasn't like trying to be like
you
up
were
front.
in like, the thick of it.
Yeah, that show was crazy. I high-fived Chino at that show too. Like that was just an awesome show for me.
I would love to see the Deftones.
Oh my god, they were incredible. But like during Rather Be Dead, it was like right when it like, you know, the build up, and when it comes through, like I see everybody like cluster the fuck up. I'm like, is that Dennis right there? And I go over to see. I'm like, oh fuck it, I'm just gonna see if I can see him in person. He's tiny, by the way.
Oh, he's super
on stage. It doesn't, in all his crazy ass stage moves and his like little red suit and everything with his big ass belt buckle. Man is fucking classiest motherfucker. This side,
sure.
This side, I can't say Mississippi. He's not American, but
this side of the Atlantic.
This side of the Atlantic. There you go. But yeah, like I just go, like, I just see all these, like, fucking dudes around him, and then a break, and then he like, falls into me, like, when the song picks up, like, it just, everybody started jumping, and, like, his body fell into mine, and, like, we looked at each other, I was like, shit, sorry, dude, and then he was just gone.
And they just disappeared.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, that just happened. And then, like...
Dude, I love those moments when, like...
I got, like, up front for Deftones, and Chino was just high-fiving it. I was not expecting him. Like, I feel like Chino's been doing this for years. I feel like he'd like, get sick of, like, just, like, being in the crowd. But he was, like, in there the entire time. That was an amazing show. Like... Dude,
I would love to see them. Like, the Deftones, like, are one of my bucket list bands.
Oh, my God.
Because, like, every time they come through, their tickets are always, like... outrageous.
Yeah, Adam Kelly gave me his ticket. So this podcast is dedicated to Adam Kelly.
It is because he was the only other one person that I knew.
The Faith No More. That's why he's
refused.
That show is why he's like, honestly, he's like, I just saw Refused, and I know you're a big fan, and I'm more of a Faith No More fan. So he's like, I know you like Deftones, I know you like that, like I know you're the right person to see this. So
he was the second guest on this podcast, and we talked about and we talked about Faith No More. We talked about album of the year, which is like everyone says that it's like the worst Faith No More record, but I think it's one of the best.
Really?
Like, I think the way you feel about Freedom, because you like it because no one else likes it, that's the way I feel about album.
Okay,
the way I feel about
I just like it because I think there's some really fucking good riffs and good
so do
songs
I.
on it.
That's why I like album of the year. I think it speaks to me, and the more people hate it, the more I like it. And I know you feel the same way about Freedom.
Yeah. See?
So boom.
Now you understand.
Boom. Big reveal.
Yeah, but I don't hate on Faith No More. So.
And I don't.
Yeah.
They're a completely different. Like, you gotta like, you have to like you have to like get Faith No More, because once they do, like, you'll realize there's no.
It's hard to get anything that Mike Patton does, though. Like, I like grew up with, like, trust me, I got into Mike Patton like before I was into Refused. Like, early in high school, a friend of mine, Eric Ott, I was like 13, 14. He was just showing me, like, Mr. Bungle. Like, he showed me, like,
that's cool.
that live video of Tomahawk doing God Hates a Coward, which is probably one of the most incredible live performances I've ever seen.
Yeah, dude.
Like that shit fucked
But
me up.
Mike Patton is only a component.
I know, that's the cool thing. But, like, that was how I discovered Faith No More.
Like, I like, in my adult life, like, you know, yeah, Mike Patton is a flashy, showy, like, really, like, probably the most talented musician, like, one of my favorite artists, like, and just the fact that he was in that band in the 90s, and that was kind of like how he kind of came to prominence, like, you know, you can't deny that. But like, there are other components of that band. Like, the drummer for Faith No More is like my favorite drummer of all. Like, dude, I love, sometimes I'll just watch his name is Mike Borden, and he plays open hand.
Yeah.
And he's got these he always plays with no shirt and huge dreadlocks. And oh my God, like, he just has like the best he's the best rock drummer I've ever seen. Like, he just had, that's why I freak out at Dustin. Or I don't freak out, but like, I like geek out and like tell him that, like, dude, I love the way Dustin Sell plays fucking drums, because he's got the open hand, he's got that, like, the way he interprets groove. He's
really proggy. He's all into that shit.
I know. And like, oh dude, I haven't had like a really good music conversation with him yet.
You should have him on.
But dude, that'd be, oh my God, I would love that. Like, in a heartbeat, I would have Dustin Sell on this podcast. But like,
I think he'd love to do it too. You just give him something to talk about. Like, give him a band, and he could just go on.
Sounds like my kind of guy. But dude, like there's when you just put all the components together, the fact that like Mike wasn't the original singer, like, he actually had to be like, he actually had to come in after the old guy was like, you know, using the record label money to buy Quaaludes, and passed out at the record release show.
What a time to be alive.
I know. Dude, the 80s, right?
All he had to say was Quaaludes.
80s is pretty crazy, right? But they got Mike Patton, they were passing around like a Mr. Bungle demo. They didn't even have an album out yet. They just had a demo. and
makes sense.
Billy Gould, the bass player, who's like kind of like the guy that like he's like the band. He's the guy that like writes a lot of the music, the bass player, which is cool too. Because like when you listen to Faith No More records, the bass is fucking slamming fucking bass lines on Faith No More records, dude. Telling you. But anyway, slamming salmon, my man.
Oh, I was hoping you would say that. Hell yeah. I was thinking it while you said it.
I was talking about the Super Troopers 2 record. I mean Super Troopers 2 movie.
Super Troopers. You want to make a band called Super Troopers now?
Yeah, Super Troopers 2. No, it's called
the
Super
band
Troopers
is called
2.
Super Troopers 2. Oh man, that's
that'd be so
a Lansdale super group. Not that I'm a Lansdale like original, but just get all the Lansdale kids. You're renaming Brandish.
For years and years and years, I've been trying to do a Faith No More cover band. But I think that would be so.
Everybody wants to do. We should do that.
Dope.
Like everybody wants to do a big cover show. Like Tyler and I really want to do Against Me and like.
If there's the one I'm most excited about is Cody Heavner and I really want to do Faith No More.
You should definitely. Oh, Cody'd be perfect for that.
I know. Because the bass player is like sick in that band. Cody'd be perfect.
Oh, he's insane. Adam Kelly wants to do a Slipknot band. Let's do it. We're doing a cover show.
Okay. I'll play drums. Dude, I'll be Joey Jordison.
There you go.
I would love to be Joey Jordison for a night. That poor guy. What has he got? He's got like that fucking like bone disease.
Yeah.
What is that disease that Joey Jordison
Bonitis.
Has? Here we go. Bonitis.
Was it the disease from Futurama? Bonitis.
I love it. I can just ask a question and then like have a laptop next to me and I'm like, here we go. We're gonna figure it out.
That's cheating.
What do you mean cheating? The internet is here as a resource, my dude.
Thomas Jefferson is still up.
Yeah, I gotta get it off of Thomas Jefferson.
Oh man,
we're gonna skip ahead here to Joey Jordison. Look at that guy. That's what he looks like.
What is that supposed to mean?
I don't know.
That's what he looks like.
That's like what he looks like because like, dude, he's wearing a mask half the time. That's what he looks like? He looks like garbage.
Jesus.
Put the mask back on, dude.
Jesus Christ, man.
I'm just saying. I mean, like, he's from Iowa. There's not a lot of lookers from Iowa.
When's the last time you've been in Iowa?
I know
Have
enough.
You ever been to Iowa?
No, but I know enough about Iowa to know.
What do you know about Iowa? Give me
not many Kendall Jenners are coming from there.
Give me 3 Iowa, like, fun facts.
There's a lot of corn.
That doesn't count. Everybody, that's common knowledge. That's not a fun fact.
There's a band called Slipknot that comes from Iowa.
Fuck off.
The capital is Des Moines.
Surprised you knew
I know
that.
the capital. Dude, I know my capitals like nobody, motherfucker. Telling you. Okay, here we go. Illness. Shut up for a sec.
Jesus.
Joey talks about suffering from acute transverse myelitis. Symptoms starting in 2010, but not being diagnosed for a long time. This progressed to the loss of use in his left leg. Oh my God. He has recovered fully with the aid of medical help and intensive work in the gym. No way. He's like fully recovered from that. That I didn't know.
Just to lose function.
I thought he was still suffering. Acute transverse myelitis. It's a rare neurological condition. That's right. Starts in the spinal cord. Implies that the inflammation extends across the entire width of the spinal cord. Partial transverse myelitis and partial myelitis are terms used to define inflammation of the spinal cord that affects part of the width of the spinal cord. TM is characterized by weakness and numbness of the limbs, deficits in sensation and motor skills, dysfunctional urethral. Oh shit!
This is just getting worse and worse.
Dysfunctional urethral and anal sphincter activities. Yes, dude. Wikipedia just fucking dropped the word sphincter. Let's pause for a moment and
a moment of silence.
Yeah, and reflect on the fact that Wikipedia is just like, yeah, we just use the word sphincter. Donate $3 to us.
Damn.
We got your sphincter knowledge right here.
Sphincter.
I got my sphincter's low shutter speed.
Fucking Mike.
Oh, Mike, I did that for Mike Doherty
all the time.
I know, because like oh my God, dude, the Mike Doherty episode of this shit is like gonna be off the chisane. Like,
can I just guess that? Can I?
Do you just want to be here for it?
Can I
think I
just
want to
be there
live.
for that?
I'm gonna have a live studio audience for that one because that's gonna be outrageous.
Can that? No, that's got to be the birthday.
It's gonna be like a.
That's got to be your birthday show.
Ooh, okay.
You're
That's
have
gonna
like,
be the birthday episode.
Like 4 guests on there. Because Going Off Track just did that. They had like Blake from Jawbreaker on it. They had a bunch of people.
That's not a bad idea, man.
It's a good idea.
A July 4th
I just want to be on it when Mike's on it. It'd be
birthday
really fun.
episode.
He and I got a lot of good back and forth, man. You know.
Oh my god,
we
dude,
got that chemistry.
It's like impossible to get us to like. We have to like make a market. Like we have to go like, okay, we need to stop. Like we have to give that to each other.
Yeah, I feel like at the same time, if he's on the podcast, like I thought people would have a hard enough time understanding what we'd be saying, but just you and Mike, like, it's, can I take one of your cats and just hold it real quick? There's 2 cats in this room.
Yeah. Hey, one of you, come here.
Hey, meow.
One of you, come here.
There's 2 cats looking at me, and it's really awesome. Meow, no. Oh, you're stuck.
Oh, I hit him in the head. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
Oh,
I tried to shut the door, but they were leaving. Oh well.
Oh, you want to go?
The kitties don't want to play. Yeah, she's probably hungry.
I feel bad.
It's alright. Don't worry about them.
The cat's left, I guess.
Dude, they're idiots anyway. They're just like...
I love cats, man.
Me too, but those 2 are idiots. They're just like... They tackle each other. Like
That's what cats do.
I know, but like it's like annoying. They like...
How dare they? How dare they be cats?
Oh my god, I hate it. But like they tackle each other. They scream. They eat shit. Like,
do they eat actual shit?
No, no, but they eat like random dude, I'll come home and like the napkins and the napkin holder all chewed up. What is it with the napkins? And what's
with it with the napkins?
What's with the napkins? And like what's with the fucking the little one? Luna, she likes the bathroom.
It's my dog's name, or my parents' dog's name is Luna.
Luna? Yeah.
That's
my girlfriend's cat. Her name's Luna.
Licks the bathroom, you were saying.
She just has this fascination with the bathroom. Like I can't take a shower without her trying to get in there, and then they're waiting by the door when I get out, and apparently it's a common problem. Like cats just love the bathroom. Here we go. Internet. Tell me why cats love the bathroom.
I feel like only 15 minutes of this podcast talks about refused. Why do cats
love the bathroom? This is educational, goddammit. 15
minutes refused, the refused, at least 5 minutes of the prefix the, at least 7 minutes on slave rape.
Oh my god! I'm so sick of talking about music. That's all I do is talk about music. It's not
that's
enough,
all we talk about. Really.
It's not enough of my goddamn life. I gotta okay.
How? Yeah, right. God damn it.
Cats are curious and playful, and we know cats like to be with us. Answer the question may lie in
does every episode end up with you on Wikipedia?
Your cat is a predator driven. Shut up. Your cat is a predator driven by the instincts. This is very interesting. Driven by the instincts of a hunter, but because of her size, she knows that she could also be prey. She feels vulnerable in your absence. Okay, so it has separation anxiety. Cats are micromanagers. Everyone knows that. Curiosity killed the cat. When you slip into a room and always close the door, you are doing something mysterious. Oh, that's fucking cool. Your home is your cat's territory. The bathroom is within the boundary of his sphere of influence. How dare you shut him away from... Who's writing this shit? How dare you shut him away from his own territory? You might be...
Wikipedia sentence is how dare you?
No, this is Ask a Vet. This is This is just a random ass Google search. I just learning shit, and then I don't know. I think it's interesting when podcasts go into an educational portion. I think it's important to educate the children.
We've been educating the entire time.
I know.
We started off in history lessons.
Yo, you know what I learned is
stay woke, kids.
Stay woke. You know what's fucked up? I was watching this Daily Show thing about Betsy DeVos. Are you familiar with Betsy DeVos?
Oh yeah.
She's been funding for-profit schools, even though when Obama was president, he was trying to defund it. Now she's funding it again.
Are you surprised?
No, but I mean I'm not surprised at all. I just think
I'm disappointed still, but I just
think it sucks ass because actual schools need help. But, apparently the only ones that matter are the ones that are for profit because capitalism.
This country's really dropping the ball, man.
Dude, this country sucks right now. Just the people in charge. I mean, this country, the people who aren't in charge are golden.
Yeah.
The people.
Yeah. So Trump's like guilty, I guess. Is that what we're getting at? Like,
he's guilty of being a douchebag. Like that's all I know.
I was talking about Russia.
I'm not a grand jury panel member, but like
it's not looking good. It's not looking good. But
well,
I don't expect anything to happen.
Dude, it's so fucking complicated at this point that like there's no way to tell if like he actually.
There's plenty of way to tell.
Oh, I know. Oh, dude, he told me.
It's very obvious.
And the arguments are even funnier. The arguments against it are even so fucking funny.
Well, Hillary Clinton's emails. That's the argument. Is just.
Well, fuck that. Because people don't have anything else. Like, they don't have anything else to argue about.
People that fucking bitch about Hillary Clinton's emails don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. They just know that Hillary Clinton used an email
and they wouldn't care if it wasn't Hillary Clinton. Yeah. If it was anyone else in their fucking emails. If
it was Bill Clinton, they wouldn't give a shit.
Maybe they would because they hate the Clintons, like, in general. But, like, because, like, well, they made a huge deal about his blowjob. But I'm just saying, like, if it was any other politician... like without like a huge influence, because the Clinton Foundation like is like a huge, is a huge fundraiser.
They're the most right Democrats out there. Like they're the most close.
They're the most influential. Now they've messed up.
No, I meant right as in like Republican. They're the most like.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're the most. Yeah, they're the most. They're the most
moderate.
They're the most.
I've told you this will become a political fucking.
But it's all about who they pal around with. That's why the right fucking like
Goldman Sachs.
Yeah, and George Soros and whoever the fuck you want to talk about. But I'm saying like... See,
this is refused. We're still talking about
refused.
Yeah, we're talking about
all has to do with the refused.
Woke. We're staying woke.
I'm just saying it's really funny that... Just think about this next time that someone tries to defend Trump, or like when you hear like the White House or like the Trump administration like try and talk all tough in the face of like all the allegations coming out. They're just like... Robert Mueller can't indict me. Like no collusion, no this, and it's just like he can't find any of this, can't find any of that.
I was looking at just Trump tweets and just like Laura Jane Grace.
Yeah, because it's just like he spends so much time defending it and like almost like he's like a bully on a schoolyard. Like you'll never find like how many.
He doesn't even fight it. He just like I don't even know. It's kind of brilliant because like no matter what proof comes out, he's just like nah, it didn't happen.
It's not brilliant. It's just...
Like, they called fucking Reagan the Teflon president. Like, Trump just says, nah, it didn't happen. And his fucking followers, like, he said it didn't happen, so he's
it's just because politicians know how to double speak and they know how to deflect.
He's not even deflecting. Well, he's all his deflecting has no effort. It's not like he's like he at first he had a couple of diversion tactics, like he'll do something else to piss off people, like the whole like trans thing, like trans people can't be in the military was a total diversion. Like obviously he has no fucking power over that shit.
Yeah,
but
he
just literally just says like nope, you're wrong. And people are like, I guess he's right.
Or like fake news and like all that. But he's only, dude.
What about crooked Hillary?
Like, everything is his fan base. Everything is like keeping that. He'll never switch and he'll never like alter from that. Like,
the man has dementia. Like, put him in a fucking like.
That's what I mean. Help. It's just like his talking points are very carefully scripted to like appeal to a base. That's the whole thing. Like, no one would care. Like, when you think about the world of politicians. What's the number one goal of every politician?
Well, politics is like for an entire party to gain control.
If you're a politician, what's your number one goal?
To win.
To win what? No. To win what? Your job. To keep your job, which means you win elections. How do you win elections? You mystify and like captivate a base, like a voter base, to make sure that like when the time.
But there's no rules to it anymore. It's a fucking show.
There's no rules. But I mean, like, it's.
Did you vote? Did you vote this election? Like, was it 2 days ago? Good for you.
Absolutely fucking did.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah. I didn't know who any of the people were, but I mean, like...
Don't say that. I Googled while I was walking in.
I was just like, who's the county... But dude, it's a district election. You're not supposed to know everybody. I'm just saying, it's just like... It's the whole point is to make sure that, like, you're participating on a local level. Like, I mean, like, if you know everything about every candidate, like, who was on the ballot...
Yeah.
For, like, whatever you're...
You're
a nerd. You're a fucking nerd who has no life. I have a life. Okay, like I know enough to vote and to practice my constitutional right. I also know that like I'm looking for like a district flip because like You know, like I want as many blue representatives in Congress as I want coming up in 2018. Because, boom, bringing it back around, if Mueller finds any kind of like shady shit going on and then he recommends an impeachment process, then a Democratic Congress can move forward with the impeachment.
Yeah.
Anyone else wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah,
like,
just getting
with the way the House of Representatives and Congress is right now, there's no way. So it's like, I'm looking for a fucking push if we can do that. I'm not saying like we should, you know, yeah, we should impeach the president. But I'm just saying, I just want to get him out of my life. You ever feel like you just want to get you ever feel like you just want to get him out of your life because he's such an idiot?
It was just a really bad.
I don't care like if he
we
did
just got really drunk.
I don't care if he did anything wrong.
Accidentally voted Trump in a presidency.
Just get him out because he's an idiot. Just get him out because like I don't know. I'm sorry I'm like being so divisive, but like
no, I agree. No, I don't know. Impeachment is the best thing because you get to. He loses. He finally gets to lose. If he even if he makes it one, I don't think he's gonna. I want him to be impeached. You know, there's that possibility, but I'm not trying to sound like cynic or just like. Here's the fact that he lasted this long with the amount of shit going on. Like, you can't make this shit up anymore. Like,
it's too surreal. And like, you try and I spend most of my day trying to figure it out in my head. Like, why?
I never thought this presidency. I don't want to say it was this bad, but like, I feel like you look at and it's not a Republican thing. It's not a Democrat thing. It's like you look at all the other Republican presidents, and I'm clearly a very liberal person. Like, I'm very left, but like.
No one could ever thought I got this. It would have gotten this bad.
Like, Bush didn't just sit on the toilet and just tweet about people and call Kim Jong-un like a fucking little douchebag. Like,
every Republican president
make this shit up.
Every Republican president is like, you know, they have like their quirks. They have like their like if you want to take anything away from what George W. Bush was, he was just like a puppet. Because he didn't really know a lot about government. He wasn't his field. Like, he didn't know what was going on. But the way the Republican Party works and the way conservatives elect, you know, their constituents into office, or like they elect their representatives, I should say, into office, is they want somebody to be a figurehead while people behind them actually do the work. They have a guy that they march out there to be charismatic and to be, you know, likable. You want to have a beer with him, like you respect him because of whatever.
Rolls up his sleeves.
Yeah, or because like it's so like if you apply that mentality to why these Republican presidents were not only, you know, ran on the ticket but also got elected, then a lot of it makes sense because it's just like, oh yeah, well, like, you know, you had this guy who was like a World War II vet and he was like respected, but he didn't really do a lot. He didn't really command a lot of things. There was a lot of things going on in the background. The same was for the two Bushes, you know, Elder Bush and W, and then same applies to Donald Trump. Like, when they talk about like who can we get to lead the party, who can we run so we can stay in power, and who will get the most votes, most electoral college votes, it's someone who's like really fucking captivating to like middle America. And, you know, whether it's some guy who, like, you know, you can relate to because you think you can have a beer with him, or if it's 2016 and here's a guy that, like, says that, like, you know, he can bring jobs back and the coal jobs back, and he can stand up to he can drain the swamp, and he can lock up Hillary Clinton because she's a woman. Like, you're speaking to, like, a base of people who don't know anything and who don't really have any like core concerns other than the fact that like they want to stay uneducated and they don't want to progress. Then, you know,
I understand the appeal, but
he's your guy. So it's like they ran this guy no matter, you know, it, and they were like, we're gonna run this guy and fuck the consequences because he could win because look how captivating he is. And
I honestly think the GOP completely regrets it.
Even if they don't in a sense because now they're in power and they're just like,
yeah,
they're running the gamut now because they have, it's like, you know, like we have the house to ourselves, like we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, but their moves are like leading into like another fucking civil rights movement right now.
I know, but it's just like,
imagine like people weren't like 5 years ago, even we were having school shootings every 2 weeks. Still, back like 5 years ago, and people were not up in arms about arms.
That's an American health issue. in my opinion. And I don't say that because like everyone says that like, oh well, like because there's always two sides to the debate about guns. It's just like, or like, you know, some asshole shoots up a school or some asshole shoots up a country music festival, and everyone's like, well, it's a gun issue. He got those guns and he shouldn't have had them. And then everyone's like, well, no, it wasn't a gun issue. It was a mental health issue. He shouldn't have had guns in the first place because, you know, he should be locked up. Like, so like the guns weren't the problem because he was mentally insane. The problem is it's an American health issue. You ever seen Bowling for Columbine?
Yes.
It's like Michael Moore touched it a little bit on that, and it's only gotten like progressively worse because like health in America has like, and I hate to be kind of like preachy, but like there's like sort of a health standard in America that's just been just absolutely just neglected, and there's no need for happiness anymore. There's no need for true anything like that because it's like it's all money now. So it's like we put all our value into like, you know, tangible things instead of like non-tangible things, like love for our, you know, our fellow friends, our fellow, you know, love for people, and like, you know, care for, you know, the community and like the environment, and like none of that is important anymore because we're so doggedly competitive with one another that like we want to get ahead, like we want to like, that's just like it's just like a constant motivator, you know, and that translates into money and to possessions and to things, and it's just like, I hate to be, dude, I fucking sound so douchey right now, but I mean, like, I'm just saying, it's just like, it's an American health issue, and it makes us fucking crazy. It just makes us insane, and a lot of those insane people do insane things, like vote for a guy like Donald Trump, which is, a guy like Donald Trump only tells me that like the country's sick. It's like the population is mentally sick because we're so confused. We're so just unimaginably confused about who we are and what we want and what makes us happy. So like we see a guy like Donald Trump like taking charge and saying things that like he probably shouldn't say, but feels kind of good because it kind of validates our fears a little bit. And it's like totally disagreeable though, because like when we try and meet other people, that's not how we should be, because other people aren't like us. Like there's like a huge, you know, population of us that like have nothing to do with what he's talking about. So I mean, like, if we want to have this like kind of inner isolationism, then yeah, Donald Trump's your guy. Then, you know, if your life has nothing to do with like other cultures, or
if you like white bread, the
way other people think, or just new ideas or progressive, you know, thoughts, then go ahead, vote for this guy who's not a good businessman. He's an awful businessman, but he's persistent. There's a difference. So like the people that say
I don't think there is anymore.
No, like
because it's working. There's no ethics.
No, and like it's just like you can't tell me that this guy's a good businessman when like he's filed for bankruptcy so many times and like his casinos go under. He's just persistent.
It's because he's a business. It's not because he's a good.
It's because
he is a businessman.
Right.
Barack Obama wasn't a businessman.
Right. He was a community organizer.
Exactly. That's boring. I get it.
It's boring, and it's also
owning a casino.
It's also socialist, and people.
Obama didn't own a tower. No. Donald Trump owned a tower. Obviously, I get. That's what I understand. I understand
it's American enterprise, and it gets to the core of like, you know, our red, white, and blue, you know, fuck yeah mentality about like what we think that we are, because like we want to assert our dominance on the planet, even though we don't have to. We're the wealthiest nation. We're way ahead. So it's like, you know, instead of, you know, working and cooperating with like these other superpowers that like are sort of on our heels, that kind of want to get on our level. Instead, we just like want to have like a culture war with them and tell them that they're not welcome, and tell them that they'll never be on our level and they should fuck off if they want to. So
I just don't want Earth to be dead in 100 years, man.
It won't. It'll just be drastically different. Like if you ask me like what the world's gonna look like in 100 years, like it's just gonna look like an amplified version of what you're looking at now. I mean, like I don't know if there's like some sort of like natural catastrophe like coming. Like, dude, I've been keeping my eye on that fucking Hawaii volcano. Have you seen that shit?
Yeah.
That's like about to burst, man. Like, it's just like there's like a little bit of like, you know, lava coming out of the ground. That's just like a precursor. That's just like, you know, that's just like the beginning of that's like the clouds rolling in before like a big storm. It's like, but I mean, like it'll just be, you know, an amplified version of this, like more buildings, like more industry, less environment, less trees. Like it'll just be like, whenever you see like a science fiction film, that's what I say. Whenever you see like Blade Runner, you know,
it's a Running Man.
Yeah, or fucking, I don't know, what the fuck is that movie with Logan's Run? You know, it's just like a bunch of like, you know, floating tubes everywhere and like buildings. That's what I see. Like,
sounds like you're talking about Futurama, man.
Or Futurama, yeah. That's right.
That's just the optimist.
I forgot. There are more updated versions of what you're talking about.
I said bonitis, and now I'm just on the Futurama train.
There are more timely versions of what you're talking about, Tim. Thanks. I just like old shit. Okay. I'm an old soul. That's how I
comparatively, maybe. But
it's just called being old. Whenever I say I'm an old soul, it's like, you're old. That's what that means. You're just like old shit. You resist new shit because you like the old shit. But yeah, dude, I don't know. I hate to be on my soapbox, but it's just
man. That was
the only other thing I want to say is that like the people that defend Donald Trump and say like, you know, he wasn't colluding, he wasn't obstructing, he wasn't whatever. It's just like they always say it in a way that's just like, you can't prove it. Like they can't prove collusion, they can't prove this. It's just like, it's like, imagine if you had a friend who,
how many
like,
people pled guilty so far? Like 5.
Oh yeah, tons of people pled guilty, but they
to treason.
They're arguing
conspiracy against America.
Well, they've argued that like that they worked, you know, before Donald Trump knew about things, and that like that doesn't. These people associated with Donald Trump aren't necessarily working on direct orders from him. They were just like kind of working for him. Like they hired. They can all chalk it up to just like poor business deals or poor, you know, judgment calls on who to hire as your campaign manager. You know what I mean? Like
still not good.
I know it doesn't look good on him, but the idea of being indictable, which they were talking about today, is that like, you know, he's had to have had some kind of like primary firsthand into like, you know, yeah, get the Daryl and Hillary Clinton, yeah, use that Russian oligarch, yeah, like we need like, so it's like this shit like that. But the point I want to make is when they're defending him, it's so weak. They have the weakest argument to defend him, and it's just
every
like,
argument's been weak.
They can't. But this is the best one because it's like it's like you can't prove collusion. You can't prove this. Imagine if you had a friend who was just like you stole I don't know, you stole my vape pen. Like, I know you stole it. Like, I thought I lost it, but I think you stole it because you really liked it. And he's just like, you can't prove it. Instead of saying, no, I would never do that, how dare you, you know, or like, how could you even suspect that of me? They're going, you can't prove it because you have nothing on me. So, haha. Imagine if you had a friend who said, he would be fucking guilty. He'd be primary suspect number 1. Like, you'd
prove
be like, it. Exactly. It's just like, he's instead of saying like, dude, like, no, like I would never do that. Like,
oh, why would you think that? Why would I do that to you, man?
Or
I'm sorry.
Anything like that. It's always just like, well, you can't prove it. And dude, it just fucking boggles my mind how they can just think that they can just be like, hey, like they can just like laugh on the sidelines. Like they're just depending on Donald Trump and his cronies to have covered up everything, and we know that there's a guy that's been covering everything up and making things go away, and that he probably has like more people that do that for him. So it's like they're the people that support him, the people that are rooting for him to like get through this and to like, you know,
well, because they don't want to look dumb.
This.
I get that. I don't believe a lot of Trump.
They're depending on him to like, they're depending on like him to have covered his tracks well enough already before anyone ever started asking questions or like doing this. Is like, aha, I covered my tracks already. You can't find anything on me. You ain't got shit on me. And it's just so fucking skeevy and it's so mafioso, like, because it's just like, yeah, like clearly something is up here. Clearly something is up, but you're not going to own up to anything because like you don't give a fuck. Like you're just like this old guy that like just wanted to be in power so you can get your tax cut so you can get more money. All of it goes back to money. All of it goes back to just the fact that, you know, the richest 1% wanted the GOP to be in power enough to pass a tax plan that would over time effectively give them more wealth than they're already getting, and, you know, diminish the middle class more and create more of a divide and inequality. So it's just like, oh my God, like I just see it all unfolding. I'm just like, I hate this so much. I hate watching it unfold and nothing I can do about it except vote. That's all I can do is vote.
And that's the message for this podcast.
Just vote. Start at the local level, bitch.
Did you vote? I voted. Did Tim vote? He voted.
There's a sticker in my car that I put right on my dashboard. Not on my dashboard, my right under my heating vent. Because I don't really have any other real estate to put stickers on my car.
I get that.
But the guy who inspects my car tomorrow will see that I voted, and he'll be really proud of me. That I exercised my
Exercising your right, man.
My civil duty.
Went to my elementary school. It was right across the street where I grew up. That was where I voted. Got a blast from the past.
Right.
Right into like the old
yeah, like
I was like, hey, I'm 23 now and I'm voting. She's like, good for you, Chris. She's like, how old are you now? 19. I was like, no.
A lot older than that.
It was nice. She's like, oh, you can vote now. I was like, ooh, this is not my first vote.
No. I voted for Obama.
I didn't. I was too young. I was right on the cutoff. I was the youngest person of my graduating class. So I had just turned 18 in 2008, and I couldn't even vote in 2012.
My first vote. Oh my! Shut the fuck up. Why did I even fucking?
I was 17 in 2012.
God damn, walked into that one. But no, like I had just turned 18 and I could vote for Obama. That was pretty cool. First vote you ever cast for the first black president, and he fucking wins.
Yeah, I wasn't there. I was there in spirit. My parents did.
I feel you. Yo, go the Swanson parents. That's what's up.
No, my parents are fucking woke. They fucking voted for Bernie, dude. Like
what?
Yeah, dude.
That's what's up. I voted for Bernie too.
Like my parents are like, we know Hillary is gonna be the one, and we're gonna support her, but we're still gonna,
even though she fucking robbed him. I'm so.
No, it's not even her fault. The DNC just sucks. It does.
I'm also
the DNC is ass, dude.
I have this like sort of like hatred for Donald Trump, not because he ran for president,
not because he voted for Donald Trump.
He probably did too. Who else would he fucking vote for?
Yeah, come on.
Who the fuck else would
accidentally
he vote for?
Hit Gary Johnson? Like, oh shit! Like,
he's just like,
but we forgot all
Jill
about him.
I wanted Jill. She's a great woman. No, but like
I have friends that did that.
Ugh.
But
Ugh.
I don't know. To each their own. To each their own.
Anyway,
at least it wasn't Trump.
Like, I wouldn't even hang out with Donald Trump like ever. Like,
I would like to talk to him. I would just like to talk, just to know what it's like, because apparently it's fucking crazy.
I would
like all the like people that have like been in and out of his fucking like little inner circle.
Yeah.
Like
they're just like, wow, that's fucking nuts. Like, let's get out of here.
Like. It's just, I just want to know what it's like. I'm curious. Like, I don't expect it to be like think about a positive experience.
Think about like the turnover rate. Think about like all the people that are like in his circle for like a little bit can only really handle it for like a couple weeks, maybe a month, and then they're just fucking gone. They're just like, dude, somebody else can do this.
It's probably scary. I don't think he's like this. Like I can't
handle this shit. I'm sorry.
I've heard he's been like kind of mob bossy, but I kind of expect that. Like
he is mob bossy, man. We have a mob boss in the White House.
I feel like he was like that before being president. I just think that's a part of Donald Trump.
Right. But it's just like the guy that he is, and just the stuff that he talks about, and the stuff that like the way he is, like it's not like, I'm not talking about like his televised appearances on like him talking into the camera. I'm talking about like when I get him like like kind of like he's like walking somewhere, maybe he's like on a golf course, and he's just like talking to people like normally. Just like even that guy, he just like walks, he just drives by on a golf cart and goes, like I wouldn't even like that guy sucks. Like that guy, any other guy who's like that would also suck ass, because like he's just a corny asshole. Like he's just like a cornball that like I would never hang out with. Yeah, and he would probably just talk about douchey things like taxes and why immigrants shouldn't be in this country or something like that.
They're animals. Is that what he said now?
Yeah, he said today that they're animals, which I'm not surprised.
Which are actual Americans. Like I want to point out, like he's just saying these people like
he's just saying that like people that aren't white are animals. That's pretty much all he's saying. He's fucking dog whistling to all of his things. I'm
not
sorry,
allowed to eat your fucking Trump Tower taco fucking bowls. You fucking fat piece
and
of shit.
Live off the fat of the land, because you're fat and of the land. But anyway, I wouldn't hang out with him anyway. But
I wouldn't hang out with. I just want to talk. I just want to know. I don't even want. I don't have a. I don't think I could handle a one-on-one with him.
I couldn't. That's why, like, I didn't like him.
I would just like to be in a room with him. You know?
I didn't like him when he was on The Apprentice. I didn't like him when...
I never watched him. My parents are New Yorkers, so like we hated him before it was cool. That's verbatim what my dad just like told me. He's like, we hated him when we were fucking your age in New York. Like, oh, this guy's a fucking asshole.
Yeah, so it's like...
He's just this rich fucking 50-year-old douchebag back in the day. Like,
but it's just like amazing that like, you know, people like see him as presidential, because I don't even see him as likable at all. Like, I don't even see him as like talkable. Like, I wouldn't even want to have a conversation with him. Like, if I saw him at a bar, I'd be like, nope, later, different bar.
I remember my first impression of him, because I remember seeing his face, and I knew he was like a person of power when I was like, I'm talking when I'm little, like really little. I think it was like a book he wrote or something.
Or The Deal.
No, it was like something about like being the richest was in the title. I don't know if it was an autobiography. Look at it. I just remember like something about being rich was in the title, and it was just him kind of like doing his Trump face on the cover. This has got to be like, 15 years ago. Like, I don't know. And just I remember seeing that.
Why We Want You to Be Rich. That's what it's called. With Robert T. Kiyosaki. Oh, it's like a Japanese fella.
I just remember seeing a book with Trump, and it literally rich was in.
The rich are getting richer, but America is getting poorer. Like the polar ice caps, the middle class is disappearing. America.
No, it was
get the fuck out of here. They wrote a book, and it's about this shit. America is becoming a two-class society. Soon you will either be rich or poor. Donald and Robert want you to be rich. Oh, it's a fucking scam, dude. They're just... Dude, they love just scamming people into like buying their shit and giving you awful advice about how to get rich.
It wasn't that. I want to look into it, but that was my first impression of him, and then I just kept seeing his face more and more.
Is it this one, How to Get Rich?
It could have been like it was something like that. Like it was just a book about him with rich in the title, and
invest wisely, impress the boss, and get a raise. These are great. This is great advice for anybody. Think big and live large. Hire, motivate, and fire employees. Wow, what a big guy. What a big smart business guy.
Business guy.
Piece of shit. But anyway, I mean, like, I was just mad at Hillary because like I had to like. I don't know, man. Like I voted for Hillary Clinton, but like every time, like it hurt to like support it because like she disappointed me every single time along the way. It was just like I wanted her to be the first woman president. Like she was in line with my party values. Like that's like, I thought she hands down deserved it. Like
she's probably the most qualified person that ran for president.
And she's totally qualified. But when like a contender comes in, like you better be prepared for like a fair election. Like when Bernie Sanders comes along and wants to challenge you in the primaries, don't sabotage it for him. Like I know you like think that like this is your moment, but I mean like, you probably would have won it anyway. But like, why did you have to like, sabotage? Why did you have to actively
split the Democratic vote?
Why did you have to like sabotage it for this poor old guy that like probably you just got scared? Like, why did you have to cheat? Like like I had my trust in you, and like you broke that a little, and that's okay. So like now it's like I voted for Bernie. Now you're my choice to prevent a Donald Trump guy, and like. The whole time, like leading up to November, I was just like, "Don't fuck this up for me." Like it wasn't like, "Wow, I'm excited to vote for you." It was like, "Don't you fuck this up for me." I'm giving you my vote. Like, don't fuck it up, because right now I'm not excited about either candidate. I'm not excited about any candidate right now. I'm voting for you because you're the best of all of them, in my opinion. And that's a shitty situation to be in. So like, here it is. Here's your shot. Don't fuck it up. Like that's not the ideal, thought process going into a general election. Going just like, okay, I guess here you go. That's not the best mentality, which is like kind of like a tough thing. Like I like Hillary Clinton. I love her, but like, I don't know. I connected with Bernie Sanders, like, you know, his talking points a little more. I thought he was a little more ballsy. I thought he can get a little bit more done.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh well, it's over now. We have what we have.
Let's wait it out.
Oh well.
Unfortunately, keep fighting. Stay woke.
Yo.
Oh damn. I feel like you have two podcasts right now. Like, you have a political one, and then you have the music one within that. I knew it would turn. I knew us too well. I knew it was gonna get like this.
I forgot that we can also talk politics, which is alright.
I like talking.
It's cool. It's when the people start tuning out, and we can just have our private. We can have a private conversation here on my podcast.
It got real. We dropped the scripts halfway through.
Shit's about to get real.
I just realized I'm all out of Thomas Jefferson.
Damn, dude, you're like
Tavern Ale.
You're shooting those Thomas Jefferson. We're about 2 hours in, man. How do you feel? You want to keep going, or?
I think I'm good, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm yeah.
Is there anything else you want to plug or?
I'm plugged a lot. Just be on the lookout
For Amora.
More resting.
And resting.
That's coming later down the line. I didn't want to give a lot away because I honestly still don't know what's going on, but I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
Also, vote. Listener refused. Agree with me. Freedom is a good record. Tim can suck my dick.
Whatever, man. I'll give it a shot, and then we'll see who's sucking whose dick.
See, that's the thing. I already like the record. I'm not gonna start disliking it, and you're not gonna win.
No, and you know what?
You can't win in this. If you realize that.
No, I know I can't.
I can lose, but you can't win. That's the thing.
Just like Hillary Clinton. Lock her up. That's it. That's all I gotta say. See ya. Skirt.